KNML Albuquerque,
a Cumulus station.
the sports animal.
10 a.m. in the morning, she's
7 o'clock in the morning.
Just lay down.
Now,
It's 7 a.m.
it's 7 a.m. Time for the opening drive.
Voted the best sports show in New Mexico.
For 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
What a show last night. I'm talking about that lightning show. House was shaking.
Yeah.
Was out at soccer last night, UNM women's soccer exhibition game against Adams State. They scored 4 goals in their first 20 minutes. Lightning strike. Off the field.
That's right.
That game doesn't resume. They'll pick up. So if you have nothing to do this morning, you want to go see the conclusion of that contest. It starts at 9 a.m. out there at the UNM Soccer Complex, finishing that game up. You had high school football games postponed. Isotopes rain-shortened contest last night in 7 innings. What a wild night it was, but it sets us up for a ton this weekend. What it do, everyone? Welcome in. It's the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the sports animal. JJ Buck with you this morning. Our quarterback, Ned James. A. Marie, our super producer, holding it down, taking your phone calls, 0610 is the Quan's Auto Care hotline. Sports Animal text line is 505-246-0610. So I was out at soccer last night. UNM scores 4 goals in 20 minutes at Adams State. They're ready. They already played 2 regular season games. They're 1-1 on the season. They opened up in Las Vegas last week playing Dixie State. And I am absolutely blanking on the second team, or who they opened with. The UC Davis was the opener, 1-0 loss, and they beat Dixie State 5-1 over the weekend. They have an exhibition game last night. Then they're scheduled to play Oregon State on Sunday in their regular season home opener, which should be a very exciting contest out there, 1 o'clock at the UNM Soccer Complex. But I got home in time to see the Dodgers do it again. And the Los Angeles Dodgers in this series against the San Diego Padres have buried the Padres. The thing I did not expect to see this season, looking at the Major League Baseball standings, was the San Diego Padres 16 games back in the division. Not just 16 games back, but 16 games back of the San Francisco Giants, who are still in the lead in the NL West. But what the Dodgers did, won their 3rd in a row over the Padres, burying San Diego now even deeper back in the wild card race. The Padres are 2 games back of the Cincinnati Reds for the last wild card spot. So here's a team that's 68 and 61 overall, which isn't bad, but it's an incredible disappointment with what they've invested. It's the LA Rams. Like, the Padres went all in on this season.
Yeah.
They threw everything at it. Their pitching hasn't been healthy. They're not getting the runs when they need it. Buried again by the Dodgers. And so while they're one of the most disappointing teams in baseball, are they yet still a dangerous team if they can get to that wild card game?
I don't know about that, but my day was just like your day. Yesterday was filled with college sports, student athletes back on campus, barbecues, faculty members yelling, "Glad to see you back." But this whole thing with the Dodgers and Padres, we were expecting, fireworks all season with these two teams, and it's just one team is just kind of, slid down the guardrails, and they're now, in a position where they can't even, make the playoffs. The Reds are up on them by 2 games now, and it's just going to be an uphill battle from here on out with them. They're fighting themselves. I mean, the Tatis injury, I think once that happened, I think their confidence kind of waned, and it's showing in their record. It's fortunate for a team like the Dodgers. They don't have to really look over their shoulder too much. They're trying to
Run down the Giants.
Yeah, they're trying to run down the Giants, but at the same time, I'm kind of, I'm interested in the Reds getting in, because I always remember the traditional rivalry of the Dodgers and the Reds back in the 70s and 80s, and so I'm kind of curious to see how the Reds finish up, and if we can get kind of a series or maybe 2 or what have you with the Dodgers and the Reds. That'll be fun to watch. The Padres, though, however, they're sliding, and I don't see them, unless, they've got one pitcher. Snell's the only guy they got, and then, everybody else.
And Yu Darvish last night was on the mound, but he was outdueled by Max Scherzer. And Max Scherzer still, in my opinion, is the most impactful player that was acquired at the trade deadline. Yeah, you had the Yankees getting Anthony Rizzo, Joey Gallo, Chris Bryant going to the Giants, which could be a close second. But Max Scherzer is a guy that he can start game 1 of the division round. He can start game 1 of the NLCS. He can start game 1 of the World Series. He's that good of a pitcher. And you saw it last night, absolutely shutting down the Padres offense. 10 strikeouts for Max Scherzer. And it's one, you're looking at it for San Diego. I want to believe. I was on the bandwagon. I said, hey, I'm rolling with the Padres this season. I love Fernando Tatis. I love the energy. Yeah. And it hasn't been anything close to the hype this team had going into the season.
Yeah, but it's all based on the pitching. I mean, they, when they fell out of the Scherzer sweepstakes, that really kind of sent their season kind of in a direction that I'm sure that they really didn't feel that they were headed to. The importance of pitching is so relevant to the story, and people really think the big name hitters that the Dodgers have and the Padres have, that those guys are the stories. But at the end of the day, it always comes back to the pitching. And the fact that the Dodgers have the pitching and the Padres have a couple pitchers, but not the kind of depth that the Dodgers have, speaks to why they're struggling here. But, you know, the Reds, compared to the Reds and compared to the Giants, their pitching staff would be, you know, right there parallel with those two clubs. But they just can't seem to get over the hump. I really think the Fernando Tatis injury really kind of, you know,
I could see how that would put like a damper,
Yeah.
just kind of on the excitement, the energy when he's the emotional leader of that team.
Right.
You know, he's already at this point in his career risen to that position, and then have multiple shoulder injuries dealing with it, keep popping out. He's going to have off-season surgery. So I credit Fernando Tatis for staying in there and doing things differently. Like, he's playing the outfield now. Like, they moved him from shortstop to the outfield just because they want to get by this season, try to take a little bit of pressure off that shoulder. But you're 16 back, the division is out. And now you're chasing down the Cincinnati Reds for the last wild card spot in Major League Baseball in the NL.
Yeah, and you're chasing. That's the thing, you know, when you're on the chase, it's really tough because now you're pressing, now you're really pushing. You know, you got this month is coming to an end here next week, and then now they're really chasing it then, because, you know, once you get into September, you know, it's a wrap after, you know, you get late in the season, because now teams are really holding on to where they're at because they know, you know, it's now or never, and they're going to throw, you know, all guns blazing at you just to finish up the season and get to the playoffs. So I'm anxious to see how the Reds do. I'm kind of, you know, nostalgic in that I like that Reds and Dodgers old rivalry.
It's not quite the big red machine in Cincinnati, but there's a veteran presence because Joey Votto has been on an absolute tear the second half of the season for the Cincinnati Reds late in his career. And you look at, now we flip it to the American League, a big result last night. The Yankees, a 7-6 victory over the Oakland Athletics. So the Yankees, top wildcard team in American League, they're 3 games up on the Boston Red Sox. Red Sox are 2.5 games up on the Athletics. So that's a sneaky good series this weekend in Oakland, the Yankees and the A's. And for the Boston Red Sox, Chris Sale coming back looking like his former self after missing so much time with injury. I think it was over a year that Chris Sale has been out. He was on the mound yesterday looking good again in his second start back in the rotation. And the Athletics are a team that has to get some games in this series against the Yankees. Not just the wild card position, but the Astros are a comfortable 6 games up on them in that division. Yeah, the Tommy John surgery for Chris Sale. I wonder for old people, is there a Tommy John surgery for old people to make us feel more youthful? I mean, the Tommy John hip replacement. Is it hip replacement? Is it knee replacements? Is it, I don't know, anti-snoring medication, whatever. But the fact that these guys are coming off these Tommy John surgeries and they're able to pitch the way they're able to pitch. I mean, Chris Sale just looking like the Chris Sale of old, if not better, after that surgery. Man, I'm almost tempted to get a Tommy John surgery, see if I can make a comeback. Maybe I got some eligibility left or something. But the fact that the Red Sox are, you know, even being talked about, you know, is a testament to the fact that this Tommy John surgery goes so well. You know, maybe they can make a push here as the season winds down. Yeah, the Red Sox in a good position. Now they're 7 games back in the division. The Rays leading the Yankees by 4, Red Sox by 7, but in a quality spot in a wild card race. So a lot of good baseball going on right now, especially into this weekend as we head into September. But really, the story is how disappointing the San Diego Padres have been, how amazing the Giants continue to be, because the Dodgers, it's not just, we're winning these games against the Padres, showing them what's up, little brother, you ain't there yet. It's they need to win those games to just keep pace with the Giants. They're still 2.5 games ahead of the Dodgers in that division. Yeah. Like I said, you know, this next month, I don't really get too worried until we get into September and, you know, teams start, you know, kind of making their push for the playoffs. We'll just have to wait and see until we, you know, once this month ends, I kind of start watching baseball a little closer.
Right now.
Well, it's only 4 days until the month is over, so
Yeah.
we are right there at that turning point, the final stretch of Major League Baseball season. A lot going on, not just the division races, but especially the wild card, because there's not that extra wild card. It's back to just the two teams that get that chance to advance outside of the division winners. That is Ned James, our quarterback, in studio. A-Marie producing, taking your phone calls. Quan's Auto Care Hotline is 246-0610. You can send a text, Supports Animal text line 505-246-0610. Speaking of zero, it's 0 week. College football kicks off tomorrow, and it does right here in the state of New Mexico. We'll dive into that next. It's opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Calling all football players, are you looking to develop your skills this season? It's never too late or too early to put in the work. Coach Carl Barrere and the Air Barrere program at 8 Grady's Performance Center provide comprehensive position training for aspiring football players at all levels. Whether you're looking to increase your speed, gain strength, or hone your skill, we train all positions with a team of experienced coaches who know what it takes to succeed at all levels from Yaffle to college. Check us out at 8gradys.com to learn more and sign up for training today.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened? Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Car Crafters is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. Datacom is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. Datacom has portable AC units for rent. Applications include server rooms, retail outlets, healthcare facilities, laboratories, convenience stores and truck stops, events, concerts, and weddings. All of these units are 120 volt plug and play. Call Louis Ruffin today at 505-507-7722 or go to datacom.com to learn more.
Drive, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, Micah. Josh produces for you today over on the ProView Network side, where you can watch the show worldwide on ProViewNetworks.com or statewide at Comcast Channel 26.
Hey, welcome to the Steve Davis Show.
Good morning and welcome to Sports Desk live on Comcast Channel 26.
Welcome to The Point with Nick Rich.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 10, America Talking About.
I'm Pastor Flora Padilla of Mending Broken Hearts.
Welcome to Henry T. Game Face Live, Comcast 26, and Big Bad ProView Network.
Often imitated, never duplicated. Welcome to Local Focus with Sebastian Noel.
Welcome, sports fans. It's that time of the week again. You are watching the Weekly Rundown.
Hey, welcome to Red Menace TV here on ProView Network.
Hello, I'm Steve Davis. You are watching Public Access TV.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspet.com.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right. Put a smile on your face. They're at home. Things are looking up.
When you're looking for some college football, kicks off tomorrow, 0 week. 4 games on the schedule that are D1 versus D1. San Jose State is in action as they are hosting Southern Utah. But we got you. We don't have you covered, but college football has you covered. How about right out the gate, a Big Ten matchup, Nebraska at Illinois?
Yeah, that'll be good. Yeah,
Scott Frost's job is on the line. We all know that.
it is. And are they underdogs or are they favored? Maybe my eyes were blurry last night. I thought I saw they were. Were they the underdog or were they favored?
Let's pull that up for you. Should have had that ready to go. I didn't. My bad. Nebraska's 7-point favorites.
They're favorites.
They're favored on the road.
Was really blurry last night.
At Illinois. The chicken and waffles will get you.
Chicken and waffles
will get you every time. Put you in that groggy coma at the end of the night.
I did have the food coma last night working. I ate too much. Frank's Chicken and Waffles. Frank, I guess, was a former Lobo basketball player. Owns the Chicken and Waffles. They catered the barbecue last night, the welcome back barbecue for all students at UNM, which it was a great turnout. Of course, people were masked, and the administration was masked. Everybody had their masks on. Everybody was trying to socially distance, but there wasn't a whole lot of socially distancing because when the kids get together, they congregate. But I was just happy to see smiles on people's faces and some sense of normalcy back on main campus. And but like you said, I really ate too much. I was telling myself not to eat, but the mac and cheese.
That's a lot of us at the end of the day, man. No, shouldn't have did that, but
yeah,
it was worth it.
It was worth it.
It was worth it.
Now I'm blurry on my college picks. I'm looking, seeing opposite of what I was thinking. Man, Illinois' favorite. Man, I must have really been tired last night.
It is Nebraska, and Scott Frost's been talking about probably the hottest seat in college football right now is Scott Frost at Nebraska, especially
that program.
Some of the stuff that come up over the last few weeks. Had some illegal practices, when they shouldn't have been practicing, breaking some COVID protocols, so that puts more pressure on him. His the savior coming back hasn't been the savior yet for Nebraska. 3 Mountain West teams are in action. Fresno State is hosting UConn. Fresno State 27.5-point favorites in that contest.
Yes.
Hawaii is at UCLA. That is the game of the day. Can Hawaii stun the world right out the gate in the Rose Bowl? They are 17.5-point dogs. And then San Jose State, mentioned that game against Southern Utah. They're comfortable 24-point favorites at home. But UTEP, New Mexico State, the line has moved. UTEP is now a 10-point favorite at New Mexico State. Started out at 9, so 1-point move it in favor of the Miners. I have zero idea what to expect from New Mexico State, and that's what happens when a team doesn't play a football game in 2020, plays 2 spring games, one of them loses to Tarleton State, has the fan base up in arms for pretty much the team didn't play football for a year, gets back on the field, loses an exhibition game, and now you're coming into the season. Doug Martin is pretty much telling you, I'm playing 2 quarterbacks. So what's the offense going to look like? We have no idea. The defense, are they going to be able to make plays? Because you look at the Aggies defensively the last 3 seasons. These are the opponent's points per game. 41, 41, 36. And just the schedule of it all. It's a daunting schedule for an independent team. But we're not looking ahead just yet. We're just looking at tomorrow. And this is one where I really have zero idea what to expect from New Mexico State.
Yeah, and, that's the beauty of college sports. There's turnover. There's super seniors this year. We don't know all these college teams. You don't know how many guys kept their super seniors, how many, gave scholarships to young players, and they're trying to develop their programs. In this culture that we have now with win it, or be gone next year, a lot of people were bringing back super seniors. And so those 25 scholarships that would normally go to freshmen, they may have taken half of them and kept super seniors, guys who could leave, and brought them back for another year because they're now more developed, and they can help them win games. So we're going to see some changes. We don't know who kept more super seniors than other teams, and if those super seniors were worth keeping, or if they're just here just to eat and sleep, another year. But it's really going to be interesting to see these teams. That's like you said, you don't know. Even though Vegas has got New Mexico State as a 10-point dog. UTEP, they didn't really set the world on fire last year either. So, and there are some changes that happened over there as well. But we'll see. Our little brothers to the south, we have to kind of, really kind of keep tabs on them, make sure that, they're eating their Wheaties, and we're kind of, making sure that they're okay when they come in here to play the big brother here in a couple weeks. But they're actually, like you said, you just don't know. I mean, this 0 week with all these teams, the fact that we've got 4 conference teams playing this week, I'm curious to see how impactful these super seniors are going to be in the college landscape, because having guys who are more developed on your rosters, and I know how coaches think. Coaches want to win now, and the fact that a lot of student athletes who would normally have scholarships are walk-ons now, and so I mean those scholarships were rare this past year with all teams around the country. Now, of course, you got your Alabamas and your Georgias. How many of their seniors did they bring back, or did they just bring in all freshmen?
This year's a mess trying to figure out scholarship
and COVID protocols. COVID's going to be interesting.
It's going to play a factor.
And how people.
Yeah, we're already seeing it with all these NFL storylines with Tennessee Titans up to 9 positive tests at this point in time that's going to happen to a team during the week. So yes, it's still, you're saying, everything that we're trying to figure out. Oh, by the way, we're still dealing with this issue as well.
Pandemic, yeah, and the vaccinated and the unvaccinated, I still don't understand that, but we're at where we're at because everybody. I didn't realize that I had so many friends that were epidemiologists and doctors until the pandemic. Guys who I've known, get injections and shots for everything under the sun. All of a sudden, they become specialists on vaccinations and what's going in the vaccination. So it's just fascinating to watch. And I've said this, these last 2 years are going to be a different year. I don't know if you could even bet or gamble on any of these teams because of the COVID protocols and what's happening every week.
Things can change overnight. Right now, watching, at least for this game specifically, UTEP, New Mexico State, haven't seen any issues reported from anyone. It looks like they're good to go. Haven't seen any major injuries reported out of either camp ahead of this contest tomorrow. And for New Mexico State, you're going to have 2 quarterbacks, Jonah Johnson or Weston Eget, that are going to be throwing their first FBS pass tomorrow. And they're both going to see the field. For Doug Martin, I don't think this is him just trying to play that, hey, I'm going to keep you off balance, because there's no film on these guys, so he doesn't have to do that. Right. I think it's just a legitimate question. The Aggies have to do so much offensively. They have to find a way to be good because of how bad they've been defensively, that Doug is sitting there saying, hey, there's an opportunity. One of y'all wants to take it, please do. But right now it's 50-50.
Yeah, and, like you said, they haven't played very many games, and so when you don't play many games, you can't, based on scrimmages and based on practice, it's really hard to determine, how good a guy's going to play. Speaking for our team here, the Lobos, I mean, we've got 5 quarterbacks out there, so I mean, we've got one that's really good, but the rest of them are pretty close, and so we're going to still see, what happens in the backup role at quarterback here. But like you said, having one special one is really good, because what kind of team you could have potentially if this guy gets to play and has some success. But you just never know. You just don't know with these protocols. I'm still curious to see how the conferences handle the protocols and how the teams handle.
Yeah, it hasn't been discussed as much coming into the season as it was last year in terms of what the testing is going to be. Now, a lot of these, to your point on vaccines, and they're still in college, similar to the pros, there's going to be different, if you're vaccinated versus unvaccinated, the timing when you can come back, etc. And for a lot of these colleges, the universities are mandating it, thus it takes some of the pressure off of the coaches for having that battle in their team. Say, hey, you want to be a student here, get vaccinated. A lot like we see in elementary school when you have to take kids to school for the first time, like, hey, can we see your vaccination records? That's a lot what's going on now. So kind of takes that battle off the coach's plate for the time being.
Yeah, and just the testing portion of it, who's paying for it, how it's being monitored. If a person's positive, and what if that person plays? Are you taxed? Are you considered forfeiting the game if you have a positive tested kid plays?
If a team can't play due to COVID, and I believe the majority of conferences have said that it's a forfeit. Like this year, they are not postponing games. They are not rescheduling games. And so that's kind of the pressure there to just stay, hey, it's unfortunately going to happen. Like someone or some buddies might test positive. But if you get to a point where it's rampant through your team, you're going to get penalized. And that's also a challenge because we're still in a pandemic, but it's the reality ahead for these teams. So UTEP, New Mexico State, on track to open the season 0 week tomorrow, 7:30 down there in Las Cruces. The expectations, you want to see a team compete. If you're an Aggie fan, there's a whole lot of unknowns just because they haven't been on the football field other than those 2 games in the spring. One of them was really upsetting the way that Tarleton State pushed them around. Tarleton State outgained them 501 to 241. Won that game 43-17.
Yeah. The trenches. That's where you win the game, in the trenches. You gotta find out how those offensive lines and defensive lines are. And we're going to see the first 2 games for the Lobos as well. You're going to have to watch these offensive fronts and defensive fronts to determine how well your team is going to be the rest of the season.
246-0610, Quan's Auto Care Hotline, Sports Animal Text Line, 505-246-0610. Coming up at 9 o'clock this morning, Stephen Lassand from Athlon Sports is going to join us. We're going to talk some more college football, see if there's any sleeper teams out there. We'll talk sleeper teams for the college football playoff, but also from the group of 5. We know about Cincinnati, Coastal Carolina, Boise State will have their day, but is there someone else that we are overlooking? He is Ned James, our quarterback, JJ Buck, A. Marie producing its opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspet.com.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. They're at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Here at Legacy, we are here to disciple people by helping them connect with God, grow in relationships, and live generously.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
I am bummed out for Atrisco Heritage. Jaguars had their game postponed last night. The lightning was redonkulous, especially out there on the west side. The lightning show we were getting with the weather that came in. They were scheduled to play Rio Grande at New Cinda Credit Union Stadium, and the game was called around 8 p.m. and it will not be rescheduled. The Jaguars said, hey, can we pick this up? We'll play 10 a.m. Saturday at Milne. But Ravens athletic director Pete Pino said that his head coach had a prior personal commitment on Saturday and would not be able to coach the game. And Rio Grande made the call that it didn't want to play the game without him. So Atrisco Heritage, who had already lost its Week 1 game against Del Norte due to COVID issues, that led to a forfeit. Second game of the season will not be played. So 2 weeks in, Atrisco Heritage yet to play a football game.
Yeah, I guess the administration at Atrisco Heritage, they got to look into those contract negotiating rights from that coach. Who decided,
high school football coaching, that's a tough job.
Saturday's barbecue is a little bit more important than replaying that game.
Unfortunate there for Atrisco Heritage, they will not play that game because the Ravens head coach has something to do on Saturday morning.
Yeah.
And can't show up to coach the game. And unfortunately, one of the coordinators can't take over because it's a missed opportunity in the season. And Jaguars still waiting to play their first football game of the season. J.J. Buck, joined by our quarterback, Ned James, Amory producing for it. The opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal, where you can catch all the games on ProView Network or streaming Comcast Channel 26 and online. This morning, you can find the show Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. You can always find it on our Facebook page as well, facebook.com/TheODinTheAM, and give ProView Networks a follow to keep track of all the games that they have covered. My 50 game of the week tonight, 7 o'clock. It's Rio Rancho at La Cueva.
Oh, yes.
It'd be a fantastic game out there at Wilson Stadium. And speaking of high school football, Philip Rivers won his first game as a high school football head coach. And he was talking about just kind of the renewed sense of energy and passion that he got from coaching high school football. He said it's the purest form of football there is.
Yeah, I think it was great. I mean, the kids really seem excited to be playing for him. I don't know if he has.
As long as he doesn't teach any to throw, right, with his
his awkward throwing stuff. But I don't know if is his family playing? Are any of his kids? He's got like 10 kids, doesn't he? I don't know.
I'm sure. Yeah, he's going to have a whole offense out there.
He's going to have the offense and defense, special teams
both ways. Start his own prep school.
Yeah. No, I thought it was great just seeing when you go back to your hometown and you're able to coach the high school team. Now, this is his first season. He hasn't gotten a call from Johnny's parents yet about playing time. A little bit different, when Johnny's mom is going to the superintendent to say fire the coach because my son, he only got 6 minutes playing time. I think Philip Rivers having to face some of those issues, it's going to be interesting. But, I mean, down the road, I'm sure they're excited to have him back. And, I think him coaching, and I think his brother was even on the staff or – he's got, cousins and uncles and everybody else and, helping out. But that's great to see that, he's giving back to the community. And
he's back home in Alabama.
Yeah.
As he was the head coach. Is the head coach at St. Michael Catholic. And the Cardinals had a 49-0 victory last night.
One of my favorite interviews at the Combine coming out of college at NC State was Philip Rivers. Totally opposite of what you see when you see him on the field, the brash talking, just arrogant, cocky.
A trash talker, but a clean trash talker.
Yeah, I mean, he was really one of the nice. That's what shocked me when I saw him. I guess they said he was a clean. I don't know what that means. Clean trash talker.
He doesn't drop a lot of expletives
on
you.
But isn't that a contradiction? Trash talking and
that's probably what frustrates people so much about Philip Rivers.
Yeah,
like this darn quarterback.
But we did the interview with him. Me and a good friend of mine, Craig Johnson. We interviewed him at the combine coming out of college. Just the most polite, neat. Just guy who just seemed like he had his head on right at that. It showed he played 17 seasons in the NFL. I mean, you don't play that long being a jerk in that league. Well, Pac-Man played 14, but
there's ways you can get by being a jerk in that league.
But I just thought he was really one of the class acts coming out of college, and so I kind of followed his career as he progressed through the NFL. And he became a really good player.
134 regular season NFL wins for one Philip Rivers in his career coming out of NC State. Yeah. And that was Philip Rivers,
coached by Norm Chow. Believe it or not.
Norm Chow was at NC State?
Norm Chow coached him 1 year.
Or was that at San Diego?
No, at NC State. Yeah, Norm Chow went to NC State. A lot of people don't know that. Some trivia. That's a trivia question. He coached at NC State for 1 year prior to, I think, going to USC when he left BYU, and I think he went to NC State first before he went back and won some national championships at USC, and then he came to the Titans.
Yeah, well, Philip Rivers is one of those quarterbacks that has an interesting place in football history because Philip Rivers, of course, gets drafted by the then San Diego Chargers, and then the Chargers go on to go, hey, Philip Rivers as the quarterback of the future. Drew Brees, peace out. Nice to know you. Ends up in the New Orleans Saints, becomes Super Bowl champion.
Yeah. Well, also the Eli Manning trade.
Eli in that draft, yeah.
That draft, he was traded. Eli's dad, Archie, refused to let Eli.
Yeah, and so there's another piece in that, not just Philip Rivers in San Diego, but when they swapped him, sent him to New York because that's where Eli wanted to be. Eli Manning, two-time Super Bowl champion, one of the weirdest NFL careers you're ever going to see, because I don't know if I've ever seen a quarterback that's been that good in the playoffs and you beat the Patriots in their undefeated season and then just had some terrible seasons outside of that.
Yeah, and that's what people just really Eli Manning is fascinating to me because I heard he was a learning disabled kid growing up as a kid. His parents got him special, counseling. I'm not counseling, but just teaching and special ed courses or what have you to help develop his learning, and he became a really bright student as a result of that, and had a successful career. I mean, and yeah, he I guess his mannerism. I think people really did like Eli's mannerisms because he won playoff.
Over analysis of that stuff. It's Jay Cutler, Eli Manning. Yeah, that's what we do, unfortunately, sometimes because people don't have anything better to do. Sometimes than post on social media
because we watch sports too much.
But that happens. 2460610, Zaquan's Auto Care Hotline. Art, you're on the opening drive. Good morning, Art. So we'll try that again after the break. You can get in Quan's Auto Care Hotline, 2460610. You can send a text. Sports Animal text line is 505-246-0610. F45 training, just 45 minutes to get yourself a high-intensity, full-body workout that will make you feel good, and it will allow you to get on with the rest of your day. The schedule is packed. You got games going on. You got meetings. So much in the fall, whether it's your professional life, with work, your personal life, with the kids, dealing with school practice, etc. You got to figure out, when can I get that workout in? Because fitness is important, and maintaining your health will allow you to attack everything else that you need to do throughout the week at a much higher level. But F45 training, get a great workout in just 45 minutes. High intensity interval training, full body workout, different class every day of the week. They have classes available for you 7 days a week. So I'm talking about you can find a time that works for your schedule. So check them out now, F45training.com. You can download the F45 app. Look at the Northeast Heights location. You can get your 7-day free trial on the app. Get in and get going. Team training, life-changing. I'll see you at F45.
Dreams are amazing.
A rogue virus, no jobs, sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Calling all football players, are you looking to develop your skills this season? It's never too late or too early to put in the work. Coach Carl Barrere and the Air Barrere program at 8 Grady's Performance Center provide comprehensive position training for aspiring football players at all levels. Whether you're looking to increase your speed, gain strength, or hone your skill, we train all positions with a team of experienced coaches who know what it takes to succeed at all levels from Yaffle to college. Check us out at 8gradys.com to learn more and sign up for training today.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green and keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment. You trash it, we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Next in line.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. DCE Systems want to help schools reopen and keep students, teachers, and staff safe. New Mexico's distributor of Novalent Shield Plus, an antimicrobial hand sanitizer that lasts 24 hours. That's right, 24 hours. 1 liter will provide approximately 2,000 individual applications. Call Louis Ruffin today at 505-507-7722 or go to DCESystemsInc.com to learn more. DCE Systems is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspet.com.
Calling all football players, are you looking to develop your skills this season? It's never too late or too early to put in the work. Coach Carl Barrere and the Air Barrere program at 8 Grady's Performance Center provide comprehensive position training for aspiring football players at all levels. Whether you're looking to increase your speed, gain strength, or hone your skill, we train all positions with a team of experienced coaches who know what it takes to succeed at all levels from Yaffle to college. Check us out at 8gradys.com to learn more and sign up for training today.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened? Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Car Crafters is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. Datacom is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. Datacom has portable AC units for rent. Applications include server rooms, retail outlets, healthcare facilities, laboratories, convenience stores and truck stops, events, concerts, and weddings. All of these units are 120 volt plug and play. Call Louis Ruffin today at 505-507-7722 or go to datacom.com to learn more.
Drive, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, Micah. Josh produces for you today over on the ProView Network side, where you can watch the show worldwide on ProViewNetworks.com or statewide at Comcast Channel 26.
Hey, welcome to the Steve Davis Show.
Good morning and welcome to Sports Desk live on Comcast Channel 26.
Welcome to The Point with Nick Rich.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 10, America Talking Out.
I'm Pastor Flora Padilla of Mending Broken Hearts.
Welcome to Henry T. Game Face Live, Comcast 26, and Big Bad ProView Network.
Austin imitated, never duplicated. Welcome to Local Focus with Sebastian Noel.
Welcome, sports fans. It's that time of the week again. You are watching the Weekly Rundown.
Hey, welcome to Red Menace TV here on ProView Network.
Hello, I'm Steve Davis. You are watching Public Access TV.
.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
So some quarterback decisions were made this week that we expected. Head coaches just finalizing them this morning. Sean Payton saying Jameis Winston is the Saints starting quarterback week 1. Urban Meyer going with Trevor Lawrence. No duh. In that one, we saw Vic Fangio select Teddy Bridgewater. Now it looks like there could still be a competition potentially in New England. Cam Newton and Mac Jones. We'll get into that as we roll on a Friday morning for you here on the opening drive, week 3 of the NFL preseason, the final week, because guess what? You get 17 regular season games this year. 0 week is upon us. College football kicks off tomorrow, especially right here in New Mexico. New Mexico State hosting UTEP, 7:30 down there at Aggie Memorial Stadium. It's opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal. Quarterback Ned James joining us this morning. JJ Buck, A-Marie producing, rolling along, just crushing it.
Rolling, thank you, JJ.
Week. Just kicked Bob out of here. You're like, scram.
That's that New York City.
My show.
New York City.
My show.
My show.
I'm like one of those new quarterbacks coming into the league right now. It's like I got a backup quarterback.
Get out the way.
Get out of the way.
Jimmy Garoppolo, Andy Dalton, Cam
I'm
Newton.
definitely Trey Lance.
Sit down.
I wish Bobcat knew who Trey Lance was.
I know. It was fun. Bob was awesome.
He's the best.
He was a pro.
Yeah.
But he's not a sports guy.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so
he's not, or he's like a sports guy from like the 1900s.
It's like back in my day, we didn't even just cut out the bottom of the peach basket yet. Made a basket, had to get on the ladder and get it out. Keep playing.
And by the way, I know this was last segment, but Phillip Rivers actually didn't just win. He killed 49-0. Okay, that's crazy. Alabama football
is going to have a very successful high school football coaching career.
Yeah. I mean, it should be interesting. I mean, he's probably playing in the 1A league. I don't know if he's playing those.
Taking shots.
He's not
going to go out there and outcoach Phillip Rivers now, Ned.
He's not playing them boys. He's not playing them boys from Atlanta or Southern Georgia. He don't have any of those guys on the schedule. I know that region, so I mean, okay, he's playing private. He's playing the private school league. You know, it's a little bit different than playing them public schools in Southern Georgia and Atlanta metro area. It's a little bit different ball game, boys. So I mean, it was funny because I think about him coaching high school football and Jeff Fisher's son playing a private school in Nashville, and the coaching staff would talk behind his back, and they would say, Jeff Fisher's son's team would be going to the state championship, and those coaches that knew Southern high school football in the locker room would say, yeah, they're going to the state championship, but they would get beat 100-0 if they played those 5A teams in Southern Georgia and Atlanta.
That's the district, man. Don't complain about where you're playing. It ain't their fault. That's the district they're in.
Yeah.
Quan's Auto Care hotline is 246-0610. Bruin James, what's up, man? How you doing?
The new Bobcat. Wow.
Yeah. It's a bit of an upgrade. Who traded in?
Wow, man. I don't know, but woo, my heart is fluttering a little bit, guys.
Oh my God.
They're getting flustered.
Anyway, guys, just called to say happy Friday, and everybody going to the Guns N' Roses concert tonight at Alliance Stadium. Hey, man, have a good time. Don't get too drunk. And then
we'll watch the Bruins play tomorrow.
Bruins tomorrow, baby. Yeah. The Royal Seiko in Pasadena. So go Bruins, and I like the new Bobcat. Right on.
Thank you. Don't overlook Bobcat, though. He's a gentleman.
We're all just carpooling to Las Vegas after this for Guns N' Roses.
Well, he's an old man. You know how you can tell it's an old man calling on the phone? They say, right on. That's 1970s. Right on, brother. Right on.
Art, you're on the opening drive. What's going on, Art?
How you doing there, JJ Ned?
Doing good, man.
Good.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have a question. I don't know if you had seen on the wires how the Pac-12 said that, no, we don't want to do that combined with the Big 12 and so forth. I want to get your comment on that, also yours, Ned, and I'll listen up. But you guys have a great Friday. Be safe out there.
Well, Art, you're reading my mind a bit. That's where I was going to take the show at the top of the hour, was the news from the Pac-12 where they said, hey, we're not going to expand right now because there's no one worth adding to the Pac-12 at this moment in time that makes them that much better. There's not an OU or Texas. Those teams are off the table. Mm-hmm. And it is the right decision to not just expand to expand. Now, the thing in this discussion, the Big 12 should be dead. They will be dead once their contract is up with the college football playoff, with their television partners, because they're still getting that money. So we'll talk about how the Big 12 is hanging on by a thread and who the Big 12 is aggressively pursuing to join their league and how that could impact the Mountain West moving forward. That's Ned James, our quarterback, Amory producing. JJ Buck with you. You can catch us on ProView Networks. As Sue, it's Adrian back there producing on Comcast Channel 26, streaming online. The opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspet.com.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. They're at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever, no one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
A rogue virus. No jobs. Sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Center fielder, Caden Bell on first. Here's the pitch that he struck him out. And great pitching by Alvarado. That'll do it for the Tigers in the top of the fifth.
A great crowd for a mid-afternoon game. Swing and a miss, and there's a strikeout, number 5 for Matt Romero.
Smith talking to the batter here. That's a, oh, wow. Nice, and that's an out.
What did I tell you? That one's that gets over the head of the right fielder. That's going to bring in 2 runs. As Adrian Martinez with the RBI double.
Towards the latter part. Pitch, and that's another way for a single. That's going to score 2. That makes the score 9-0. So RBI double. That's going to make it. That's it. It's 10 runs there.
1-0 the count. And this one's high. It's going deep. And it's going to fall in. He's digging for third, and he gets there. Ezra Mestas with the 3-bagger. He gets the triple, and 2 more runs scored.
Steal to third base.
He brought the hot sauce for strike 3.
Small ball team for Reed Fiegel this year. That one is hit on the line to left. It's going to send Avila back to the warning track, to the wall.
The station, the sports animal. Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. Don't sweat the technique. This is the opening drive with 2-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Cindietta, and JJ Bach. Don't sweat the technique.
I feel like our phones will be ringing a lot, but then people not going on the show. I think Bruno and James gets everyone excited. Like, I'm just going to call to talk to the new producer of the opening drive.
Yeah, you should. I'm not going to say who said this, but they're like, you're going to be talking to me a lot. I was like, really? Okay. We're going to be talking a lot?
Here we go. Okay.
I'm producing the show.
Just call to talk to you, they hang up about
Oh, God, here we go. Here comes the phone.
The phones are ringing right now.
I started cracking up when I heard the Right On. I thought I was in 1975. I thought I was in
all right.
a Shaft movie, or I don't know.
Bringing you back.
Gladys
We
Knight
can
and the
talk
Pips.
To our brand new producer, A-Marie. Quan's Auto Care hotline is 246-0610. You can text us if you'd like, 505-246-0610. Sports Animal text line. JJ Buck, joined by our quarterback, Ned James, producer, A-Marie. So college football, at least this season, once the games start, we won't be worrying about expansion, what's next, NIL. All this stuff is there, but we have a season that is set that we're going to play that gets started tomorrow. But the question is, what does happen moving forward with FBS football? That is the biggest thing right now, is what the movement. Is the Pac-12 going to expand? How does the Big 12 survive? So the Pac-12 released a statement yesterday saying, we're not expanding at this moment in time. We're not going to send any invitations to anyone. We good. And that makes a ton of sense because the Pac-12 is in a strong position. Right now, there's a Power 4. in the Pac-12, Big Ten, and ACC power conferences that are saying, hey, let's be friends so the SEC won't bully us. So you have all that going on. But then you have the Big 12, who, what is saving the Big 12? It's the fact they still have the television rights deal in place moving forward, even without OU and Texas. Once they have to renegotiate, that money's gone. The Big 12 is dead at the end of this contract. So what's saving them is a deal that they're still in with their television partners right now, the connection to the college football playoff, to get a little bigger piece of that pie than the other Group of 5 conferences. So that's what's keeping them afloat. But the Big 12 without OU and Texas is dead. Like, that is a conference that does not command the same amount of television revenue. So the Big 12 is now saying, how do we survive? What is that move? The Athletic is reporting this morning that the Big 12 is aggressively pursuing, is interested in BYU. But would BYU be interested in the Big 12? BYU left the Mountain West Conference because they wanted to do their own thing. They felt that their football program was bigger than the Mountain West Conference at that point in time. It's not. Now, financially, they're doing all right. Their fan base is going to be solid regardless. It's much like Notre Dame. You have a faith-based fan base, so you're always going to have a certain following. But if I'm BYU, I am not jumping at this immediately just because it is the Big 12. I'm pumping my brakes. And the same thing goes for Boise State, by the way. I have a lot to say about Boise State. Yes, you're really good on the football field, but I am sick and tired of Boise State, even the Boise State media members, thinking that they're the team that's going to save the Big 12. You know what's holding you back, Boise? It's not your football program, because you're good. You get NFL talent in there. You are very good. You have done a lot. What's holding you back is your Boise, Idaho.
Yes.
That's what's holding you back. Like, deal with it.
Until you got
you have a blue field and a good football team, but you're still Boise, Idaho.
Yeah.
Get over yourself.
Yeah. One of the things, we talked about it off air, and this is what's going through my mind when we talk about the Pac-12 and the Big 12 and the SEC and all these schools. We talked about Notre Dame, Michigan, and Ohio State. I asked the question, which one of those three schools do you see as the biggest and the most prominent of those three schools? And I'm not going to even say who we said or what have you, but it brings me back to this whole Pac-12 thing with not wanting to add any members. And the question I'm going to ask you, we could say this on air, you tell me which two schools are bigger financially, academically, otherwise. UCLA, USC, Alabama, or LSU. Which two teams are more prominent in your mind and bigger and more, I guess, would bring more revenue and attention when it comes to sports?
If for
college athletics,
are we talking as a whole or this conversation
as a whole
driven by the football teams?
Okay, let's just go football.
Football, it's Alabama and LSU.
Okay, but as a whole, would you say UCLA and USC?
Not anymore.
You would say Alabama, LSU. And see, that's where the question becomes, because the fact that the SEC believes that, hey,
and
football drives the.
To your point, Ned, they got everyone else believing that.
Yeah, and people believe that football is this thing that's not cyclical. That the South is driving football, and it will drive it, for decades to come. And it's like they announced the big game between UCLA and USC and LSU. And maybe I'm just an old guy.
You are an old guy.
Yeah. That game does nothing for me. USC, LSU. It does nothing for me. USC, Alabama. I don't care how many times Alabama beats USC because of the history of that game.
Yeah,
the significance. There's relevance with the Pac-12 because of history and USC. And so SEC, they can do all this grandstanding all they want. But at the end of the day, if you ain't got USC on the West Coast, if you don't have Notre Dame, those are the two big entities, in my opinion.
Those schools still do matter, and I think that's just why I'm actually, as a Group of 5 representative myself, like this is what we deal with. We're Mountain West football fans. We understand whether we're talking New Mexico State, other Group of 5 members, that there is a value in these schools in college athletics, but there is an obvious power structure that is geared to the power teams. And having all these schools on the same page would be nice, but I think that gap is just getting too much to overcome when you see these power schools getting more and more of that quote-unquote power. But at this moment in time, Pac-12 saying, we're good. Big 12 trying to save themselves by convincing BYU. And I'm not so sure BYU would just jump at this opportunity right now with what's ahead for the Big 12. 246-0610 is the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. Rudy, you're on the opening drive. What's up, Rudy?
Hey, good morning, guys and gals. It's Friday, right? So
yes, it is.
My thoughts about this whole thing is, JJ, you're right on about Boise. Their biggest problem is not only Boise, Idaho, but the school itself is, it's not a Tier 1 research institution. It's not a flagship school. I mean, at one point, UNM was getting some serious consideration for the Big 12 when we had football and basketball going. And UNM has some built-in advantages. We're the largest TV market that I think we were talking about that one time. We're one of the largest TV markets that's not part of a Power 5 footprint. It could save the Big 12 and expand them. I don't know. BYU has always been the outlier because they won't play on Sunday. And I just don't think that works for TV. So that's their problem. And I think until Boise State ups their academic reputation, and you know about this, our Michigan man there can tell you all about the Tier 1 research institutions in the Big Ten. Every one of them is a Tier 1 research institution. That's one of the requirements, I believe, of membership in the Big Ten, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's something that is still, as much as it gets lost in this conversation, that still is a part of it, because it's not just the athletic directors that are making these decisions to expand conferences.
Right. In fact, ever since the Knight Commission, it's really the university presidents and the athletic directors that have to get together and agree on this stuff. So, there's a lot of good that can come from UNM upping their profile in football and being competitive and winning. And it's something that hasn't been around since, I don't know, probably 2006. We had that one brief cup of coffee with Coach Davey. But for the last 20 years, it's been like the drought here in New Mexico. So switching gears, man, I think the Dodgers have really found their stride and getting Mookie back and the way they looked last night. I mean, that was a dominant performance by Scherzer. That was a brilliant move by the Dodgers to pick up Max Scherzer because that guy is a bulldog. Have you ever seen a more competitive pitcher than him?
No, he's fantastic. It was the best acquisition at the trade deadline was Max Scherzer.
It's unbelievable what he's done for them. And they get, Kershaw back, and they get healthy, and that's a team that has so many parts. Then you got Pujols sitting on the bench. Come up, knock a home run out for you. I'm getting pretty excited again about the prospects. And I never thought San Diego, they're too young, and it's showing. And I can't explain San Francisco. I really can't figure out when they're going to come back to the rest of the pack, but they're playing some solid baseball. I saw San Francisco at spring training, and they just got stomped by the Reds. And I thought,
It's just one of those things that you can't wrap your mind around. But once the team finds a groove, they get rolling. Rudy, appreciate the phone call this morning. Want to get one more in before the break. Fred, you're on the opening drive. Good morning, Fred. What's going on?
Hey, guys. Hi, Ned. Hey, JJ. Hey, two things. Well, actually, three things. One, I know I'm going back. You guys talked about UTEP and New Mexico State. I just wanted to bring up, the UTEP quarterback, no one's talked about him, but that's the kid that played at Hobbs 3 years ago, Gavin Hardison. And he actually, when he came from JC, he wasn't the starting quarterback, but that Brownholtz and that Bravo kid, they both got hurt. And so he had a fairly decent year last year. And so my nephew was telling me he's going to be the starting quarterback. So that's the kid from Hobbs that, I don't know if you remember, but he was throwing for 300 yards every game in New Mexico his senior year. So I just wanted to bring that up, that we're going to be playing them, and then also we'll be playing New Mexico State. And then I wanted to kind of give a warning. Everybody's telling me about how bad Houston Baptist is going to lose to us, and I just want to warn them that Houston Baptist played Texas Tech last year, first game of the season. They lost 35-33. So I just want to warn everybody, just hopefully we don't let up on that game. And then the last thing, BYU, you were talking about BYU. They really upped their schedule. I think I brought this up once before, but they're playing Arizona, Utah, Arizona State, USF, Utah State, Boise State, Baylor, Washington State, Virginia, Idaho State, USC, and Georgia Southern. So that's a pretty good schedule, a lot better than last year's schedule when they were 11-1. But I just wanted to bring that up, that they've they got a pretty good schedule. That's all I wanted to talk about. I know we're going to take a break, so I'll talk to you guys later.
All right, I appreciate the phone call, Fred. BYU, they do schedule up, but it hasn't benefited them yet. They are not quite Notre Dame, and that was kind of the plan, is we're going to be the next Notre Dame going independent football. Hasn't paid off for them at that level yet.
There was only one thing about BYU that you could talk about their 10-1 record last year, and I think their quarterback, I'm going to change my opinion on their quarterback that's in the NFL.
Zach Wilson.
Yeah. They lost to Coastal Carolina. I don't care how good Coastal Carolina is.
Dad, don't be that guy.
They lost to Coastal Carolina with grandfathers on
Can't look down.
They got grandfathers on their offensive line.
Can't look down at good group of 5 teams. They're wearing a Lobo shirt.
But the fact that they lost to Coastal Carolina.
Coastal Carolina was on one.
30-year-old offensive line.
Teal Field, baby. Want to talk about blue turf? How about teal turf? They got that at Coastal Carolina. That is Ned James. JJ Buck with you, Amory producing. It's opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Staples Connect has amazing.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Here at Legacy, we are here to disciple people by helping them connect with God, grow in relationships, and live generously.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspet.com.
A rogue virus. No jobs. Sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Calling all football players, are you looking to develop your skills this season? It's never too late or too early to put in the work. Coach Carl Barrere and the Air Barrere program at 8 Grady's Performance Center provide comprehensive position training for aspiring football players at all levels. Whether you're looking to increase your speed, gain strength, or hone your skill, we train all positions with a team of experienced coaches who know what it takes to succeed at all levels from Yaffle to college. Check us out at 8gradys.com to learn more and sign up for training today.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green.
And keep the community green as well.
Jackson Compaction.
DOT reminds you to toss no moss. 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal. Sports Animal.
You can call me a homer all you want, but I think the AAC, the Mountain West, conferences like that are in a position to strike. And I get it, the Big 12 has the television contracts. But right now, that's all they're holding on to. Oklahoma State, Iowa State, TCU, West Virginia, Kansas State, Texas Tech, Baylor, Kansas. When we're talking football, because that's still what's driving this conversation, it ain't all that much better than the AAC is better than you right now without OU and Texas. I was saying the Mountain West is pushing you right now. Now you have to win some of those games that you do see in a crossover. TCU, Iowa State, Oklahoma State. Good football. Good football. But it's not just about good football. It's about markets. It's about what you can bring to the table. And the Big 12 without OU and Texas is in trouble, and that is why they are aggressively pursuing BYU in this situation, but so should the AAC. So should, yes, the Mountain West be looking at, yeah, we're at 12 teams right now, but what if we go to 14, BYU, and maybe poach a member from the Big 12? Think about becoming that next conference yourself, like the AAC has, because there's a huge opening now. It's no longer the Power 5. It's the Power 4. So how can you solidify yourself in the conversation? Because the 12-team playoff, it might be paused right now. It's going to be a thing because the Pac-12 wants in. The Big 10 wants 2 teams in. Those other conferences that formed an alliance, they're going to push for this. They want the expansion. So the opportunity is there, not just for the Big 12 to survive, but really for these other conferences to destroy the Big 12 as we know it.
But what you're talking about, it's like young guys talking to old guys. Is it new money or is it old money that runs the country? I mean, you're talking about
you got yourself some of that new money.
You're trying to get some of these new markets. You're speaking about all these new teams that can possibly kind of grow from this whole expansion thing. And then we're talking old guard. We're talking Alabama. We're talking traditional powers, Michigan, Notre Dame, those places. Are those places going to be able to survive this new wave or this new change in how the powers to be are trying to divide, are trying to determine how academics, because colleges are really like Rudy was talking about earlier, these tier 1 institutions, research institutions now, I mean, are they financial institutions all of a sudden now? Are they becoming banks because of football? I mean, Alabama really, do you really want intellectuals talking about Alabama football? I mean, no, they're not going to buy into that. So that's where I'm kind of torn with this whole thing, because I go by the traditional means of education. You know, when Notre Dame used to be a fine academic institution, and now it's a bank because of football.
That's not
TV.
the top thing anymore, Ned. It's not like, yes, there's student athletes.
Help me with this, then, AJ. You got to help me.
Like the Pac-12 is holding to their academic standards. Like, there are things that matter, but really right now OU and Texas went to the SEC for the dollar signs, for the guarantee. It's not OU and Texas. Now Texas is telling themselves they can compete, but they're not going to go in there and all of a sudden start running the SEC. But once you get under that umbrella, once you get that extra money, the revenue that comes from that, like, that's what it's about. It's about money and power in athletics. And then you're just trying to sort through this, saying, what does the future hold? Like, what is this going to look like?
Yeah,
and
these tier 1 institutions are really going after the money. These research institutions are saying, hey, we need footballs to do more research at our institutions. We Alabama and Texas and OU and LSU and all those places, they're saying, hey, look, forget about the academic. We're going to buy you guys by the fact that we're going to make these football. We're going to have such a powerful. We're going to have so much money coming in because of our football programs that you guys will be able to do everything you guys need to do research-wise as an institution. And that may be the case. That may be the case now. It may be that they operate now as these financial entities, enterprises, as a result of, the revenue streams that are coming in because of, the donations or what have you because of athletics. I'm just really not so. I guess because the traditionalist in me, I can't let go of the old traditions of these academic institutions on the coast. And you look at the Ivy Leagues and their standards, and all these institutions trying to raise their standards of excellence when it comes to academics. I'm just this whole football dynamic thing is just sort of something I'm just trying to wrap my head around. I can't really get to it yet.
There's two things what runs the world: girls and college football money. Right?
Facts on facts.
And that's what we're seeing
in the world
right now in this. And you're right, it is mind-boggling. It's head-scratching, but it's not big business anymore. It's the mega business that college football is, and then trying to navigate the rest of the student-athlete experience, the university experience through that. Because we're sitting here talking about all this college football stuff. Well, then you still have the March Madness tournament. You still have your Olympic sports that are playing. So absolutely, it's still a wild conversation with so many unanswered questions right now moving forward. That is Ned James, our quarterback. A-Marie taking your calls. Quan's Auto Care Hotline is 246-0610. Get to the phones. Tommy, you're on the opening drive. What's up, Tommy?
Hey, what's up, guys? Tommy, the truth back at you. I missed the other guys, but they're probably off frolicking somewhere, so it's good to have Ned on. And I noticed the afternoon show changed a little bit, but I like those guys there because they're like comic relief, but they know sports. The thing about college football, I agree with Ned. I don't want a lot of the traditions to change, but unfortunately, money is changing everything. Traditional matchups are seems like they're kind of going out the door because of money. The only thing I want to see, if anything, even though Texas is moving, ain't going to help them any. Texas hasn't been Texas for a long time, and my other second favorite team, the U, hasn't been the U for a very long time, and I don't think they're going to go back to the U anytime soon. But if they do expand the playoffs more, I would like to see more teams in. I do want to see 8 to 12 teams, so it does give one of these Cinderella teams a chance to maybe have a Cinderella story in the playoffs. Who knows? But I'm with Ned. I'm an older guy. I am 56, and I don't like to see a lot of traditions change, but unfortunately, money does rule everything. And the other comment I wanted to make to the caller earlier, I called for Boone's head, and I still feel the same way unless he wins the World Series. But the Yankees have won 12 in a row. They are hot, and everything's coming together. And I got a feeling, unlike a few years ago when I was begging for the Dodgers-Yankees World Series like the 70s, the ratings on that would be amazing. I think we can get a Dodgers-Yankees World Series this year. Even though we're behind the Rays, we're hot right now, and we'll see what happens. I know that you probably would agree that would be much better for ratings, Dodgers-Yankees, than Dodgers and Rays. I'll get you guys' opinions, and I'll hang up.
It'd be better for ratings, but if you know me, Tommy, I'm not a guy that's going to get caught up on ratings. Now, it becomes a piece of the puzzle when I'm sitting here talking about television contracts and things that are motivating people and pushing them forward. But I'm the dude that if you're telling me you have a league with teams in Tampa Bay and Milwaukee, and you're going to be like, oh, man, I don't want those teams to win because our TV ratings are going to be bad, then don't have teams there.
Yeah.
They're competing for a reason as well.
Yeah.
And the Yankees are in a great spot at this moment in time. They're number one in the wild card, the other 4 games back of the Rays. But you got Garrett Cole atop that rotation. Top to bottom, you're hitting dingers.
Yeah. But
good spot.
Yeah, you're trying to get rid of us old guys, JJ. I see what you're doing here. You're trying to.
I'm not trying to get rid of
push us into the retirement home.
I'm just telling you.
These traditionalists.
Things have changed.
Do you have to talk to
Fresno State is not a community college anymore.
That's right.
Boise State is good at football.
Yeah.
Things have changed.
Yeah, that's why I have to bounce things off you all the time, JJ, because I know I'm stuck in my old man, get off my grass ways. And so, it's going back to the college football thing. I just really struggle with the academic portion of it, because places like Alabama, what people don't realize is that they were once bad as well. They weren't always this great. I mean, Saban's really done a great job, the last, 12 years or whatever.
They were like a 500 football team.
And
was it Mike Shula?
Yeah, that cycle's going to come back at some point. Will it matter? Who knows? I mean, are we going to start paying college athletes and it's no longer amateur athletics? Who knows where this is going? You say yes. I say I don't know. I still think there's the component of education and learning, and
you're correct.
And that students,
because you are someone that works on campus. You work with student athletes. You understand that piece. So there's the reality that this still is university, but then there's this craziness that is millions upon millions of dollars that even the most academic president could go, we can do what now?
I have friends that are still to this day that are amazed that college coaches are making anywhere from $4 to $10 million a year. They can't wrap their minds around it. The fact that you're telling me that someone
if
who's
you try to wrap your mind around
school is
anything in the sports world when it comes to money, you're never going to wrap your mind around it. Ned James, Amory, JJ Buck with you. It's the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Eubank Boulevard has an
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks. Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Next in line.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. DCE Systems want to help schools reopen and keep students, teachers, and staff safe. New Mexico's distributor of Novalent Shield Plus, an antimicrobial hand sanitizer that lasts 24 hours. That's right, 24 hours. 1 liter will provide approximately 2,000 individual applications. Call Louis Ruffin today at 505-507-7722 or go to DCESystemsInc.com to learn more. DCE Systems is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspet.com.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Calling all football players, are you looking to develop your skills this season? It's never too late or too early to put in the work. Coach Carl Barrere and the Air Barrere program at 8 Grady's Performance Center provide comprehensive position training for aspiring football players at all levels. Whether you're looking to increase your speed, gain strength, or hone your skill, we train all positions with a team of experienced coaches who know what it takes to succeed at all levels from Yaffle to college. Check us out at 8gradys.com to learn more and sign up for training today.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks. Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog! Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened? Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Car Crafters is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. Datacom is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. Datacom has portable AC units for rent. Applications include server rooms, retail outlets, healthcare facilities, laboratories, convenience stores and truck stops, events, concerts, and weddings. All of these units are 120-volt plug and play. Call Louis Ruffin today at 505-507-7722 or go to datacom.com to learn more.
Drive, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Micah, Josh produces for you today over on the ProView Network side, where you can watch the show worldwide on ProViewNetworks.com or statewide on Comcast Channel 26.
Hey, welcome to the Steve Davis Show.
Good morning and welcome to Sports Desk live on Comcast Channel 26.
Welcome to The Point with Nick Rich.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 10, America Talking Out.
I'm Pastor Flora Padilla of Mending Broken Hearts.
Welcome to Henry T. Game Face Live, Comcast 26, and Big Bad ProView Network.
Often imitated, never duplicated. Welcome to Local Focus with Sebastian Noel.
Welcome, sports fans. It's that time of the week again. You are watching the Weekly Rundown.
Hey, welcome to Red Menace TV here on ProView Network.
Hello, I'm Steve Davis. You are watching Public Access TV.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all.
The Jim Rome Show is up next at 10, 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal.
Here's a good one for you, Ned, on the Sports Animal text line. 505-246-0610. What are the top 10 words used that indicate the speaker is old?
Right on. That's one. That's 1970s. Can't say right on. The speaker is old. Let's see. Right on. Throwback.
The Wire could be one when you're not talking about the show. The Wire itself. Like,
throwback.
Coming out on the Wire. What, you sending a telegraph next?
When you say throwback, that's old, man. What else do I say all the time? I go by what the kids tell me when I'm on campus, because
no cap.
I don't understand why you can't hand out flyers. Like, in the old days, you'd hand out, and they look at me like I'm crazy when I say, "Well, can I get some flyers?"
Create a Facebook
on the Welcome Back Barbecue. I just wanted to pass out some. Ned, we don't do that. We hashtag it.
Yeah.
We put it on.
Put it on
social
Facebook,
media.
Ned.
Social media. I'm like,
and then you just blast it out to everybody in the notifications.
When they, it's funny because I was asking for flyers to pass out about the Welcome Back Barbecue, and they said, "Well, we've already let everybody know." I said, "Well, how did you let everybody know?"
The Instagram.
The Instagram. That's what they said. The Instagram. I'm like, I don't have Instagram. I don't know. Well, then
can you mail me something? Can I get an invitation in the mail?
We don't want you at our barbecue, Ned. We just need your money. We need your help to set up, and we need you to, kind of coordinate things and make sure that the rowdy kids don't.
You know how it is. It's you put it on the gram.
Put it on the gram. Social media.
Man.
Hashtag.
I was over in basketball yesterday, and one of the coaches, Ned, how do we know what's going on? You've got this kickoff this Sunday, the Zeal kickoff on Sunday. We don't. I said, well, I wouldn't ask the director, and I asked one of the programmers that work on campus. I said, well, do we have flyers? Man, we don't do flyers. We don't pass out flyers. Everybody knows. The only person that doesn't know is you, Dad. I'm asking coaches, and there's like they don't know. And then the kids that are on the basketball players, Clay Patterson, basketball. He was in the cafeteria there eating, and the coach turned to him and asked him, did you know about it? He goes, oh, yeah, I get it on Twitter and Instagram, and I know about the barbecue. I know about it.
Well, if you're a collegiate coach at this point in time, you should have a social media, even if you don't use it.
Ned, do you not have a social media?
I'm working on it.
Start off slow.
Devin Williams taught me how to use Twitter. This was a couple years ago, and I was just using that to kind of try to follow my daughter because she's got Twitter, and that's the only friend I think I have on Twitter. Maybe I have two other people.
Twitter's
on Twitter.
Good for sports, though.
It is. It's a good platform because you can control your feed.
Right, and it's good connecting with other fans. I mean, you can go down deep, dark holes.
At the Twitter. Yeah. The Twitter, that's another old.
The Twitter, putting in front of everything.
Yeah.
The Twitter. The Facebook.
Yes, that's another old man.
The MySpace.
I guess
MySpace was big, though.
MySpace was big.
I love
complete
MySpace.
Sentences is an old person thing.
I learned how to code from MySpace, and you were like, I just put this new song and flashy stuff. You can rotate your top 8. Those are the good old days. Missed the MySpace. Now we got the Facebook, the Twitter. Now you got to be, if you're an adult, you got to be on LinkedIn.
LinkedIn,
Got my LinkedIn account going. Professional account.
I get LinkedIn in my emails all the time.
Me too.
That's Ned James, A-Marie producing, opening drive. JJ Buck with you this morning. Jeff is back on Monday, by the way. We haven't kicked Jeff off the radio.
No.
I know there's been a lot of questions, kind of what's going on this week, etc. Jeff's just on vacation. He's legitimately on vacation.
He's literally golfing.
So he will be back on Monday because I know a lot of people I hate this kid. Let's move on. Jeff is back.
No, that's
another
not what
old
they
man
think.
thing. Golf. That's old. Man.
No way. I golf all the time.
Golf is old man.
I'm golfing Sunday.
Surfing.
Golfing Saturday.
Surfing is young person. Golf is old man.
That's a young person count. Where are we surfing, Ned?
Golf is. I know this is a debate.
If Jeff comes back and tells you that he went surfing, then you can say he's a young man.
He
if he comes back and says golfing,
he went golfing.
That's old man.
But that's just Jeff's a golfer.
All right, Josue, I'm sorry, man. You've been on hold. What's up? We got a little sidetrack.
I got old.
What's up?
I got old.
You got old waiting on hold. What's up, my man? How you doing?
What's up, Jose?
Oh man, just trying to get in on some of those barbecue flyers. Now that's a flyer that I think I would like to take. It's the barbecue flyer.
If you leave one of those on my car windshield, I'll be happy.
Yes, free barbecue. That's the key word. It was free too.
So now that I know that there's barbecue Twitters, I need to find those handles and get a hold and stop by because you know me, I like food, especially free food. So. Talking about the college football, all those old, I think what Ned said, especially Alabama being bad once, this newer generation, they don't recall those, when Alabama was not good at football. So I think that's the key for some of these, Michigan, Texas. Texas is trying to, working hard right now. They're just kind of, having success on their name, their brand. But they really haven't been good at football. And I think that's the key for any university is hey, win consistently, be in those championship games or make the playoffs, kind of have your name up there. And that's where the money is going to come from there, whether it's new money or old money. But I think that's the key as far as being able to, to capitalize on some of that. And I think that's where the great opportunity for, Fresno State, the UNM to kind of come in and establish themselves with some consistent winning and try to, get that money generated because, winning just brings, all the revenue, not only with the tickets, but people are excited about your team, that they want to support you, they want to wear the T-shirts, wear the caps, they'll buy the keychains, whatever it is. They'll get the flyers, and I think that's the key. It's just winning.
You don't even get the tickets anymore. Those are on your phone.
Yeah, there's no hard tickets anymore now. One of the things I'll say, was mentioning is the fact that the consistent winners. Now, what's a consistent winner in college athletics? If you have 100% graduation rate with your football team, you can get fired if your record is under 500.
Yes.
You can have a 1% graduation rate and win a national championship, and they will build a statue of you in the park across the street.
If you haven't noticed, fans don't care about damn kids; they care about that record.
Yeah, so that's the I don't know where we go, and everybody wants to be in the middle somewhere. Hey, yeah, we want to have a winner, we want production, but at the same time, we're here for the student athlete. The student athletes. That's what we're here for. We're here to make sure that the university, contributes to the community.
Why do you think it's so messy right now?
Because of our priorities.
Yeah.
Where are our priorities? College athletics is supposed to be amateur.
Just hung up on us. We're still trying to include you in the conversation, man.
It's supposed to be amateur athletics. It's supposed to be amateurism. We've kind of redefined what that means now with our treatment of college athletes.
You are correct. We're trying to figure out what is college athletics moving forward, because for some student athletes, they aren't amateur athletes anymore, but others don't necessarily have that same standing. So when it used to be, it has to be the same across the board, those lines are getting blurred and things are changing. So it is a battle moving forward. That's Ned James, Amory producing, JJ Buck with you here on the opening drive. The battle that you can conquer is F45 training. 45 minutes, high-intensity interval training, full-body functional fitness. I got my classes booked for tomorrow morning and Sunday morning. Saturdays get a little bit rowdy because it's the hour class, 60 minutes nonstop, high-intensity interval training. Look forward to it. And Sunday, it's a strength-based workout. You're going upper body, lower body split, and then a ton of different things throughout the week. They change up the classes every day of the week. They change up the programs every couple of weeks so you don't get stagnant. You're going to challenge yourself. You're going to be doing something new all the time, and you're going to enjoy it. Whether you're someone that is looking to kickstart your fitness or someone that feels like you're in pretty good shape, F45 training will help you get started or push you to another level. So you can check them out at F45training.com. Download the F45 app today. Take a look at the schedule of classes. Sign up for your 7-day free trial. Get in and get going. Team training, life-changing. I'll see you at F45.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspet.com.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. There at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
A rogue virus. No jobs. Sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Here at Legacy, we are here to disciple people by helping them connect with God, grow in relationships, and live generously.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspet.com.
A rogue virus. No jobs. Sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a #1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Calling all football players, are you looking to develop your skills this season? It's never too late or too early to put in the work. Coach Carl Barrere and the Air Barrere program at 8 Grady's Performance Center provide comprehensive position training for aspiring football players at all levels. Whether you're looking to increase your speed, gain strength, or hone your skill, we train all positions with a team of experienced coaches who know what it takes to succeed at all levels from Yaffle to college. Check us out at 8gradys.com to learn more and sign up for training today.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green. And keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment. You trash it, we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com.
And AM 610, the sports animal.
We got a cool thing going on here at Cumulus called Cherry Friday. Rocking the cherry today. Ned's got the Lobo gear on, but he's got the silver.
So no cherry and silver.
Amory rocking her Lobo t-shirt reluctantly I don't know if she wanted to have the Vikings gear on.
Hey. I'm back in New Mexico after 17 years. Go Lobos.
Well, we are happy to have you back and great you're part of the opening drive. Cumulus as Cherry Friday. So the Friday before each home game, UNM wants all their fans to wear their Lobo gear. Hit social with it. Hashtag Cherry Fridays.
Did you hear that, Ned? Hashtag.
No flyers.
Hashtag
Did you hear that, Ned? Cherry Fridays.
No
okay?
flyers.
No flyers.
We're trying to save the planet, too.
Okay, that's true.
He goes around with like a disposable camera.
Did you take Polaroids?
Well,
yes.
Polaroids. Those are coming back, actually.
The kids like them.
Yeah,
the kids like the Polaroids.
They're expensive, like the new Polaroid
the vinyl.
cameras. Yeah, yes.
Polyester slacks.
I don't think we're going to corduroys or anything, but anyway, if you don't have your Lobo gear, guess what? You can hook up your office. You can head to our website, sportsanimалabq.com. You can register your office for 25 Lobo shirts, 25 pairs of tickets to the next Lobo home game, and 25 burritos. Blake's Lotaburger. So you can be the boss of the week. You register your office for this. You win. Employees can get some Lobo gear, some Lobo tickets, some Blake's burritos, and they'll like you for a day. So head to our station website. You can register your office, your workplace, whatever it may be, on our website, sportsanimалabq.com. Just look for the Cherry Friday banner that will pop through the heading, and there you go.
There you have it.
And you get yourself a nice Friday delivery.
That's nice. Yeah. Burritos.
So check it out now, sportsanimалabq.com.
I love me some burritos.
Who doesn't? It's the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. That is our quarterback, Ned James. Anne-Marie producing, JJ Buck with you. 2460610 is the Quan's Auto Care hotline. Sports Animal text line, 505-246-0610. So we got some more words and or phrases in on the text line of indicating how old you are. So we got groovy.
That's one. It's a groovy situation.
Bar out.
Yeah.
Boss.
That's a little
smoking.
Smoking.
That's bad. Doesn't seem like too old.
No.
Because I was still kind of rocking that in middle school. Like, that's bad, man. And then you're like, is that? And then adults,
the bomb.
Is that good? That's bad.
It's bad.
That's not bad. That's bad. It's like the difference between oh yeah, that's fine and fine.
Yeah.
It's a tone.
Groovy situation.
Rad, man. That's rad.
I think it's groovy.
Coming up next, we'll talk with Stephen Lasan, Athlon Sports. We'll get his thoughts on the direction of college athletics. What should we expect? We got football to talk about. 0 week tomorrow. New Mexico State UTEP, they're playing down there in Las Cruces. So we'll talk big picture and then the season that is ahead. That is next. Opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal.
Calling all football players, are you looking to develop your skills this season? It's never too late or too early to put in the work. Coach Carl Barrere and the Air Barrere program at 8 Grady's Performance Center provide comprehensive position training for aspiring football players at all levels. Whether you're looking to increase your speed, gain strength, or hone your skill, we train all positions with a team of experienced coaches who know what it takes to succeed at all levels from Yaffle to college. Check us out at 8gradys.com to learn more and sign up for training today.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened? Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
CarCrafters, it's like it never happened.
Drive, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, Micah. Josh produces for you today over on the ProView Network side, where you can watch the show worldwide on ProViewNetworks.com or statewide at Comcast Channel 26.
Hey, welcome to the Steve Davis Show.
Good morning. Welcome to Sports Desk Live on Comcast Channel 26.
Welcome to The Point with Nick Rich.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 10, America Talking Out.
I'm Pastor Flora Padilla of Mending Broken Hearts.
Welcome to Henry T. Game Face Live, Comcast 26, and Big Bad ProView Network.
Often imitated, never duplicated. Welcome to Local Focus with Sebastian Noel.
Welcome, sports fans. It's that time of the week again. You are watching the Weekly Rundown.
Hey, welcome to Red Menace TV here on ProView Network.
Hello, I'm Steve Davis. You are watching Public Access TV.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspet.com.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. They're at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Sports Animal. Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. This is the opening drive with two-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta, and JJ Buck.
So college football just a day away, 0 week. First game of the season, Nebraska at Illinois, 11 a.m. kickoff. We got UConn, Fresno State, Hawaii at UCLA, UTEP at New Mexico State, Southern Utah at San Jose State, and we are in it. It's opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal. JJ Buck, joined by our quarterback, Ned James, Amory producing, efforting our next guest, Stephen Lasan, Athlon Sports. Look at the season ahead, try to figure out what all this is going to mean with the conference realignment talk. The one thing we know for sure is we have a season scheduled, and I am really looking forward to Hawaii UCLA. That is my favorite game of the day, outside of course following what happens down in Las Cruces. Hawaii 17.5-point underdogs, but I'm a big Shevin Cordero fan. It's year 2 for them with Todd Graham and the offense, and UCLA, at home, opening up against a team that they might be overlooking a bit, but heavy favorites. I think that game is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it should be. UCLA is kind of a team that a lot of people are curious to see if they can take that next step. They've got Chip Kelly there. He's been there a couple of years now, and so now is the time. If they're going to make a move, this has got to be the year with him, especially with the somewhat lack of success of USC, crosstown rivalry, they have got to kind of show that they're making progress with that program. So, we'll see what's going on with that team because, it's UCLA, it's UCLA, and, people have expectations in Bruin country about how well that team should do based on where they are. I absolutely believe it is the #1 college football town in America.
LA?
There's no place in America. Well, it's not LA.
Okay.
UCLA is Beverly Hills. It's la-di-da country. It's 10 minutes from the beach. It's 75, slight breeze year-round, and movie stars. If you can't recruit a kid out of Pennsylvania, Alabama, anywhere in the Northeast where there's wintertime in December and January, and get them to come and see the beaches of Southern California.
It sounds so easy
in Westwood,
but why?
I don't know how you can't.
Does it not pop like that?
It does pop. It pops on occasion, but the academic standard, I give Josh Rosen a lot of credit because he put it out there about Clemson. He says, yeah, you can win at Clemson. Your academic standards aren't quite what they are here at UCLA. We are playing college football. I mean, I thought that was a profound statement, but a lot of people thought he was taking a shot. But if you want your kid to go to a good college and, a great college town, it's not like USC. Now, when they bring recruits into USC, they got to bring them in the back way because you're bringing them through the neighborhood now. If you're bringing them in through Manchester, you're coming through Inglewood, you're coming through the neighborhoods. And so they take them in a roundabout way so people don't see that, there's a war zone down the road from USC. But UCLA is a lot different. It's in Westwood. It's in Beverly Hills. It's a 10-minute shot easily to the beach, Santa Monica, and so I think it's a really nice place, and I think that's why they get on occasion really great players to come and play there. And their tradition though is basketball, as opposed to USC's tradition, which is football. But still, UCLA is a really great school.
Well, I'm reading up on UCLA this season, and the fantastic Athlon Sports Preview magazine has everything you need to know. The offensive, defensive, and special teams breakdowns, because there are 3 phases to the game.
Absolutely.
As Ned will always tell our next guest helps put together that magazine and so much more at Athlon Sports. It's Stephen Lasan, Athlon Sports. Stephen, good morning, man. How are you?
Hey, guys. Good morning. It is good to talk to you. It's always good to be talking college football, but even better when the season starts tomorrow and we get this 2021 season going. So I'm excited to talk to you guys about everything for this season. It should be a good one.
Yeah, we're excited, especially here in New Mexico. We're one of the places that college football season starts down in Las Cruces, New Mexico State, and UTEP. But before we get into any of that stuff, we got to talk big picture. And the major story was Oklahoma, Texas joining the SEC. You had the Pac-12 come out yesterday saying we're not going to expand right now. So there's still a ton of unanswered questions. But if you just had to guess, assume, what does college football look like in 3 to 4 years?
It's a great question. I think what we've seen over the last 10 to 15 years in college football is really about consolidation at the top. You see, you go back to when the Big East was a power conference, and I think what we've seen now is the Big East and Big 12 have kind of fallen from the ranks of a power conference, and so you have that Power 4 structure at the top. And so I think we're just going to, unfortunately, continue to see that happen. I don't know necessarily that we're going to have the 32-team breakaway or 45, or you see those numbers thrown out. But I think what you're going to see is those teams at the top and the top 4 conferences are going to continue to consolidate power. And we've already seen that there's going to be a rewrite of the NCAA rulebook constitution this season. And I think what you're going to see is conferences and teams will assume more power. So, unfortunately for a lot of the group of 5 teams, the SEC is only going to get stronger. The Big Ten's only going to get stronger. And I think you're just going to see that consolidation continue at the top. Maybe not a ton of realignment the next couple of years other than the Big 12, but certainly the rich are going to get richer in this case.
Yeah, Stephen, and this is something that we've been discussing a lot, of course, out here in Mountain West country. We know that there is going to be that power dynamic. But is there an opportunity, whether it's the AAC or the Mountain West? Because I think the thing that's holding the Big 12 together right now is the fact that they still have that contract for the foreseeable future until it's up, when they're not going to get the same amount of money. But so they still have those television contracts in place, an agreement with the college football playoff. But is there an opportunity for the Mountain West or AAC to maybe even swing for the fences and try to convince one of those Big 12 teams to join them?
It's a great question. My first inclination is probably not, only because for some of the reasons that you mentioned. The Big 12 has a couple things going for it right now. Their TV contract is certainly up in the next couple years, but they're still considered a power conference by the playoff standards, and also from an NCAA governance perspective, which allows them potentially down the road to assume more of that power that we were kind of talking about with the SEC. And certainly when it comes to playoff money, being a power conference is a huge advantage. You get a significant bigger chunk of the pie. So I think the Big 12 has some advantages right now. I think the scenario that the Mountain West or the American could grab some teams is if the Big 12 falls apart. This is West Virginia could go to the ACC. This is, maybe Oklahoma State and Texas Tech do eventually end up in the Pac-12, even though they announced this week they wouldn't. Maybe they change their mind in the future. So I think if you're the Mountain West, and I think you just have to kind of watch to see what happens with the Big 12. If it falls apart, then that's the opportunity to kind of capitalize and add some of those programs. And if you do, if the Big 12 falls apart, then the Mountain West is pretty well positioned to sort of move up the food chain a little bit and put a little bit more pressure on the American to be that next best conference outside the power conference ranks.
This is Ned, Steve. The super seniors this season and the effect it's going to have on these top programs because of COVID. How do you see it? Is there anything that you're witnessing or seeing that may change the dynamics of how college football goes this season? I know a lot of teams, the big power teams, Alabama, Georgia, USC, all these teams that have guys that are attempting to go into the NFL. Did you see anything that told you that, hey, this is going to be a unique season for a couple teams because they kept these super seniors around?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think the first thing that jumps to my mind when we talk about the super seniors is how so many teams this year have, 15, 16, 17 returning starters. It's very rare to see the significant amount of teams with that many returning starters. In other words, teams this year are probably more experienced than ever. They're bringing back more guys who've played maybe at any point in recent memory. So I think the rosters overall are more experienced than they have been. And I think what you see is when you look at the projected top 25, that's great news for a team like Iowa State, battling Oklahoma in the Big 12, a very veteran roster, guys coming back for the extra year. Maybe that upside in talent isn't there, but they've got a lot of guys who've played a lot, and that's why they're in the top 10. You look at Cincinnati, some super seniors there as well, very capable of making a run at the playoffs if they can beat Notre Dame and beat Indiana and run the table in non-conference play. So I think it's made the second tier of college football more interesting this year because you have so much experience coming back, which in theory should translate to better teams, which maybe could put some pressure on the Alabama, Clemson's, Georgias of the world this year.
Stephen Lissan, Athlon Sports, joining us on the opening drive. And Stephen, you mentioned a few teams there. Who, even if they're ranked, could we be overlooking as one of those teams that you need to be on notice with?
It's a great question. I think the first team that comes to mind is Wisconsin. And I think North Carolina is in the same scenario, too. I mean, certainly Clemson and Ohio State are the heavy favorites in their respective conferences, the ACC and the Big Ten. But I think when you kind of study how this season could go, it is those super seniors, it's those experienced teams. If those two teams, North Carolina and Wisconsin, can put the pieces in place and get to the conference championship game with just one loss and have a one-game scenario basically to win and get in the college football playoff, you're talking about a pretty interesting scenario for both of those teams. So I think when you get outside the top 10, North Carolina's got a difference maker at quarterback in Sam Howell. Wisconsin is always very good, a rock-solid team. I think they could be potentially underrated. Out west, I really like Utah this year. I know when we did our preseason magazine, we picked Arizona State to win the Pac-12 South, but I would actually change my vote. I like this Utah team. I think they got a good chance to make a run at 9-10 victories. Very underrated, experienced team coming back, favorable schedule. So I think the Pac-12 doesn't have maybe necessarily one team that could make a playoff run, but I think you could see several good teams from the Pac-12 this year.
And Stephen, there's some monster games to start the season. And when you look at mention one of those Big Ten teams right off the gate, Wisconsin and Penn State will be playing in week 1 following this weekend, Georgia and Clemson. But how about Louisiana and Texas, and how big of a game that could be for Texas? You know, everything, all the hype that's been with them moving to the SEC, Steve Sarkisian taking over the program, but they have a pesky Group of 5 team right off the bat.
No question about it. I mean, all Texas has to do to see how dangerous this opener is to look back at last year. Iowa State lost to Louisiana. Louisiana went into Iowa State and won in the first game of the season. And, you know, we've mentioned the Super Seniors. That's one of those teams that is really benefiting from that. They have a lot of upperclassmen, senior performers, a starting quarterback who's been there for 3 years. So Louisiana is not scared by the road trip or the environment. They won't be intimidated by it, and they have a ton of experience. And catching Texas in the first game of the year, I think is probably the best case scenario. So I think if you're looking for a game that could be much closer than the early spreads indicate, I like this Louisiana team to be a sleeper this year. We've got them finishing in the top 25, so I think they're the best team in the Sun Belt and a very dangerous opponent for Texas in week 1.
Yeah, Stephen, one last question. And I know the SEC's covert salary cap is going to be usurped this year with a new salary cap, which includes the NIL. Out of all the teams that you've seen so far and heard about so far, is there a top 5 NIL as far as guys who are making the most amount of money out of this new arrangement of NIL with these top teams that you've noticed so far?
Man, that is a great question. You know, I think the first player that comes to mind is De'Aaron King at Miami, the quarterback. I mean, he signed deals with the Florida Panthers, the hockey team, a local moving company, a car company. He's done very well off the name, image, and likeness. And so I think that the Miami program is well positioned to benefit from that. We've seen Nick Saban at Alabama say Bryce Young is making $1 million in endorsements. I don't know that necessarily that's true. Maybe it might have been good for recruiting purposes, but Alabama will do very well. Also, Ohio State, a couple players just signed a new deal for car endorsements the other day. So I think it's kind of your usual suspects in the SEC, certainly Ohio State, and then outside of that, Miami seems to be doing very well in this regard too.
I'm surprised you haven't mentioned any of the coastal teams. I was surprised not to hear anybody out of New York or anybody out of Silicon Valley, the Stanfords, the Cals, the Los Angeles teams. I'm just curious. I hadn't heard anything with these college players, so that'll be interesting to watch moving forward. But yeah, those the rich keep getting richer. It seems like with with these NILs.
Yeah, I should also say, too, Keaton Slovis, the quarterback for USC, I think signed a deal with an airlines company. And the same thing for Kayvon Thibodeau, the defensive end for Oregon. So I think you're seeing some Pac-12 players jump in there with those deals. They don't seem to be as frequent, kind of as you mentioned, within the SEC.
Stephen, as always, man, appreciate the time. Love the conversation. I know we'll be catching up throughout the season. I'm always prepping with my Athlon Sports College Football magazine. Take care, man, and we'll talk soon.
Hey, guys, it sounds great. Thanks again for having me on.
Appreciate it. Stephen Lissan, Athlon Sports, joining us here on the Opening Drive, 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Jim Rome.
Joel Embiid is one of my favorites. The 4-year
A rogue virus, no jobs, sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Here at Legacy, we are here to disciple people by helping them connect with God, grow in relationships, and live generously.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspet.com.
A rogue virus, no jobs, sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Calling all football players, are you looking to develop your skills this season? It's never too late or too early to put in the work. Coach Carl Barrere and the Air Barrere program at 8 Grady's Performance Center provide comprehensive position training for aspiring football players at all levels. Whether you're looking to increase your speed, gain strength, or hone your skill, we train all positions with a team of experienced coaches who know what it takes to succeed at all levels from Yaffle to college. Check us out at 8gradys.com to learn more and sign up for training today.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green and keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment. You trash it, we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders.
UNM women's soccer underway. They continue the game against Adams State from last night. It's now 6-0 New Mexico. It was 4-0 when they paused the game. 24 minutes left in the first half. Now
they got some donuts and coffee.
8 minutes later, they've scored twice. UNM is getting through this game. They're 1-1 on the season. They are more than ready for Oregon State. This is an exhibition game that they had on the schedule prior to the 2 regular season contests that they opened up with last weekend. But excited for Sunday, UNM Soccer Complex, Oregon State in town, 1 o'clock kickoff. If you can't make it out there, I'll have you covered on the Mountain West Network. You can pull us up, golobos.com. It's opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. JJ Buck, our quarterback, Ned James, A. Marie producing for you. Taking your phone calls on the Quan's Auto Care hotline, 246-0610. You can send a text. The Sports Animal text line is 505-246-0610. So CBS Sports had a story. Pete Prisco, one of their writers, went a little more in-depth when it came to the Jaguars and their training camp, and just talking about the atmosphere. And I'm not on board with Urban Meyer. That's been evident since the beginning. We've talked about this quite a bit. But I think the only thing that's going to save him is I think Trevor Lawrence is going to be good. So it should get him through this season. I'm not saying the Jaguars will be good, but I believe Trevor Lawrence is good enough that they give Urban a chance to, hey, this is your guy. This is your job. Let's go. But with all that being said, this feels like Chip Kelly all over again with what Urban Meyer is doing. You're reading the story that Pete Prisco did. He said that they have assistants on the field with a boom mic telling everybody to hydrate and hustle to get to the next drill. Like this, he's doing college things in an NFL locker room. And how many times do we have to see this to know that this doesn't work?
I think Chip Kelly also did like Taco Tuesdays or something as well.
That seems like that would have been a hit.
I think that would have been a hit.
Yeah,
I think that would have. that would have
worked.
Endeared him to the professionals a little bit more so than the boom mic and hydrate and move on to the hustle, like Yaffle coach would do in Pop Warner football. It's tough. I mean, he's got to find some allies because I've been in that same situation. When I went with Dennis Erickson, we were all college guys going to the NFL. And Dennis had won a couple national championships at Miami, and then we're there, and the players are looking at us like, here we go with these college guys. Hey, get some pro coaches on the staff and listen to them. You guys don't need to tell us how to do this because we already know how to do our jobs. So it's one of those things where you have to just gain some trust of a few players. It's hard.
Right? It might not.
It's really hard.
It might not sound like a lot. There's some people like, all right, whatever. He's telling them to drink water and hustle, but it's just the dynamics, the difference that an NFL locker room presents when you're trying to do all these things that work in the college level. It's obvious everywhere Urban Meyer has been, he wins, but he doesn't get to recruit the best players. He's dealing with a draft, a salary cap, different personalities, and you're looking at he has probably what they're saying is already the biggest coaching staff in the NFL. All right, they have a lot of trainers out there. So I guess the balance to your point is, how do you come in and say, hey, I want this to be my team. This is a new foundation, but also understanding that there's just a different dynamic that you have to have, to your point of finding those allies in an NFL locker room versus you're the big man on campus. When you're Urban Meyer going into that locker room in Columbus, in Gainesville, it's different than Urban Meyer walking in the Jaguars locker room.
It's a business, JJ.
Yeah.
He has to realize that you're dealing with professionals in a business, and the players understand that. He's coming in trying to gain some sort of alliance with some of these guys, and he wants them to kind of look up to him as the Father Flanagan father figure. They're not going to do that. It's the old saying, in college, the kids look up to you. In the NFL, the players look down on you when you're the player, because when you're the coach, because they're making more money than you. They have mortgages. They have, other obligations outside of, their job there. And when they step into that building, it's business. And he's going to learn that. Sure, he's got a lot to add. He's got some energy and some enthusiasm that he wants to bring. And the players will benefit from that as well, because that same thing happened to us when we first went in. We had an idea of how things should go. And then, the professionalism of the sport, wakes you up, and it takes a little while. you have to adjust. And, you have to stand your ground too. I mean, you can't just let these guys run over him. But at the same time, he does have to realize that it is a business. All these whistles and bells, the guys really don't need to get them motivated. They're motivated by
there
cash.
can be too much rah-rah. Is that possible?
Well, I think excitement and enthusiasm is good. It's infectious. I mean, it can kind of permeate through the rest of the team. But at the same time, you have to keep it business professional. You have to, some places you have to wear a coat and tie, and in other places you can dress casual. But in most situations with professional athletes, because of the business, there's certain things that the union will allow them to do and not do. So they understand it. So, and I hate to talk about Bill Belichick from the New England Patriots, but one of the stories I heard about him, once you cross that line and it's 8 o'clock and you're in that building, because of the way the union rules are, he treats it, he's on the other end of it. It is a business. I don't have time for all the little fluff, and you want all that stuff, you go do it on your own. When you come to this building, it's time to work. And I don't care if it's mealtime. No, it doesn't say in the contract that we have to give you, breakfast or lunch or, here's the times that the meetings are. This is when they end. And he will fine you for every little thing if you don't abide by those rules. So, I mean,
it's the different ends of the spectrum.
Yeah, and so you got to meet somewhere close, into the middle. And I think right now when you're coming from college, it's a little bit different dynamic. You may tell a joke and all the kids laugh in college, where you tell that same joke to the professional guys, they're going to look at you and say, who do you think we are? I mean, we're not little kids, that's a dumb joke. I think
that is one of the best examples, difference of a college coach and an NFL coach. Like, oh, yeah, coach, that's great, fantastic.
Yeah.
And then you get in that NFL locker room, they're like,
and I mean, you will be embarrassed. They don't have any problem with embarrassing you. The NFL guys, that's the one thing I learned. I remember when there was a contract situation with one of the popular players, and I'll never forget this as long as I live and I was in Tennessee, and they had asked the guy to redo his contract and take less money, and he did it, and then they cut him. Well, it was okie doke, and so. They're like, oh, well, it just so happened we had a free agent who played well, and they're like, oh, well, we don't really need to have this salary. We can just dump the whole salary instead of we got him to take a pay cut, but he was a popular player. So you've got to read the room. And they thought, okay, we can use this money later on, so they released the guy. Well, we come out to practice the next day, and instead of being in their normal lines for stretch, they did a little bighorn. They had a circle line. So it was like the head coach comes out. He's like, well, what's this? Guys are in a circle. And it was all the main players on the team. And they circled up. And the coach walked over to ask them what's going on here. And these were star players. And they're saying, ask me to take a pay cut and see what happens. You better not ask me to take no friggin' pay. And, I mean, they were speaking in strong language. And I'm thinking these guys are talking to the head coach. And the head coach wasn't saying anything back to him. And it's because, now it's like, oh, okay, so you want us to do you a favor, but then you don't do us a favor. So, okay, this is what's going to happen from now on. And it just kind of shows you the difference. And you just got to, you got to roll with it. You can't.
So you said there's the business side of it, understanding business, but then also realizing how you handle that within a locker room of making a business decision could matter if you pull something over like that. It's Opening Drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Jim Rome,
quarterback.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Here at Legacy, we are here to disciple people by helping them connect with God, grow in relationships, and live generously.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspet.com.
A rogue virus, no jobs, sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque.
The dynamics of an NFL locker room. Yes, it's business. You got to balance it. We'll see. Urban Meyer gets his opportunity with the Jacksonville Jaguars. And the thing with the Jags is that they're just not going to be a good team. They just don't have a good roster. I'm all in on Trevor Lawrence, but it's going to be a bumpy season. And that's the reality of it. They're just not going to be good. Then you lose a first-round pick for the entire season. Travis Etienne, the running back, goes down with a foot injury. So that's one less potential weapon for Trevor Lawrence. And so it's going to make it that much more difficult for Urban Meyer, who's already had a bumpy preseason once you get into the regular season, and they're just not a good football team.
Yeah, and people talk about the preseason games, but, they're keeping score in those games. So, you could tell if a team is playing well, if a team's not playing well. Now, some people say we're not playing our starters, and okay. But at the same time, your offensive linemen are playing. You've got defensive guys playing that are going to be, integral parts of your team once the season starts. And so there's going to be a lot that you're going to have to figure out in the coming weeks. And that's why the beauty of sport, you just never know what's going to happen. Everybody thinks that the Rams are going to win the Super Bowl because they got Matthew Stafford. Let's try to win a regular season game first.
Yeah. It's opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. It's our quarterback, Ned James, JJ Buck with you. A-Marie producing. Quan's Auto Care hotline is 246-0610. And for Stafford, this is it. He's no longer got the Detroit Lions to fall back on. It's a bad organization. There's no way to spin it.
No, and I'm not just saying that as an NFC North girl. I'm saying you just feel bad for the Lions. Like, when they're in your division, you're like, okay, there's 3 teams in the NFC North, and then there's the Lions. Yeah.
Well, you just look, it's crazy to think about.
And they've had great players.
Barry Sanders, Hall of Famer. Calvin Johnson just went to the Hall of Fame. And playing for the Lions, they didn't want to play football anymore. They're like, I'm good. Yeah. I'm going to go out early because playing for the Lions devastated them that much.
Right.
Yeah. But that's my dark horse favorite this year is the Detroit Lions.
Do not say that out loud.
I'm saying it out loud. And here's
what do you mean dark horse?
Like playoff team?
I'm saying playoffs. I'm saying playoffs. You got a Super Bowl quarterback. You've got a guy who's battle-tested, won in the playoffs.
What?
Now, everyone hates Jared Goff. Everyone says that he's the reason why they don't have 3 Super Bowl championships in Los Angeles. Sean McVay doesn't have a gold jacket on already. Everybody on that defense is a Hall of Fame candidate. The reason why the Rams weren't able to be so successful was because of the quarterback. Now we've got the quarterback in Los Angeles, and we're going to win championships from here on out.
That's the move.
Now,
that's the plan.
If that's the plan, okay, then they should win. If not, let's just say it was the quarterback was the reason why they were winning. That said quarterback goes to Detroit now. Does he make Detroit all of a sudden better?
Just straight quarterback to quarterback. Are you taking Jared Goff over Matthew Stafford?
I'm taking 26-year-old Jared Goff over 32-year-old Matt Stafford. Now, some people might say, hey, That age number is only 6 or 7 years. That's not that big of a deal. Matthew Stafford is that much more special as a number 1 overall pick, as opposed to people forget Jared Goff was the number 1 overall pick as well. The guy played with stitches in his hand on his throwing thumb. We got guys who won't take a shot for a vaccination, but this guy is shooting up just so he can complete a playoff game. That's a guy that loves to play football. Now, does everybody love to play football? I don't know. Is Matthew Stafford that much in love with playing football, or is he in love with being in Los Angeles? Who knows? We don't know yet, and that's the beauty of football, and that's why I'm a Jared Goff fan. Hey, the guy didn't say anything bad about the Rams when he left. The guy's going to go up to Detroit. Yep. He's been to a Super Bowl. He's won playoff games. Matthew Stafford's done none of the above.
He has it. And I think it's fair to be a Jared Goff fan, because I do agree. I think at times we discount good quarterback play because we get so focused on elite quarterback play. And Jared Goff was a good quarterback, but I do believe Matthew Stafford is a better player, a more explosive player. Agreed. Which should then, to your point, mean
You use the term elite, not me. You're saying Matthew Stafford is elite. You have an elite quarterback, you are going to win playoff games and championships.
Well, he can't make it to the playoffs because of the division he's in.
It doesn't have anything to do with the division. Everybody's got to go through a division to win a championship. Everybody's playing in divisions. You know, whether you're in the Rams, whether you're Pittsburgh Steelers, whether you're the Saints, everybody's got division. To me, this whole concept of this division is greater than that division is absurd. It's the NFL. They're all getting paid. They're all, you got Pro Bowlers on every squad in every division. So, I mean, that whole thing, I mean, people get caught up in the Aaron Rodgers and the NFC North. I understand the tradition of the NFC North, but it's just another division in the NFL. The fact that Jared Goff is in that division now, it changes things. You're talking about a guy who's battle tested. Now, we're going to see with the coaching. We're going to go see with the number of new players and draft picks that they have on their squad. If it's a 17-game season, it's a COVID season, you just never know what's going to happen. And that's the beauty. And hey, everybody's talking about the traditional winners in that conference. We'll see.
The better teams. The Lions are just not a good.
Yeah, I agree with Jared Goff, but their first 5 games, the Niners, the Packers, the Ravens, the Bears, and then, of course, the Vikings. I mean,
all you have to do is win the first one. That's all that counts. When you win the first game, then we'll talk about the second game. Okay. Because in the NFL, you just never know what happens. You never know. You can predict. Guys are putting their mortgages up right now on who they think's going to win the first game of the season because they think it's a lock. But I've been in that league. That's the beauty of it. I mean, I like the kids in college, but I like the pro game because every Sunday you can win.
Okay, if the Lions beat Jimmy G and the Niners' healthy defense, I am going to make you flyers.
That right there.
I'm going to make you your own personal flyers.
See, that right there tells me you don't even know who's starting at quarterback at San Francisco. They haven't said that Jimmy G started.
They're going to start Jimmy G and then Trey Lance is coming hot.
But, I mean, you wouldn't put a bet on it yet. They have not announced it yet. Trey Lance may get the start. You just don't know. That's the beauty of the NFL. Some teams have announced their starting quarterback. Why hasn't San Francisco done that? Is there some controversy at quarterback? Do they know something we don't know? You just never know in that business. And it's a business, so you have to be careful with your prognostication.
You have to be careful. But we sure as heck can already look at week 5 of the NFL season and think we know what's going to happen. I'm with you. I don't have anything against Jared Goff.
Oh, no, I like Jared Goff, too.
I just straight up think the Lions are not a good roster. He's not good enough to elevate them. And when you have a better overall roster in the Rams with a better quarterback.
And that's the thing that gets me with the NFL. When they're paying their left guard $1 million, they're not paying people $1 million who can't play. And so there may be a guy over there making $5 million and he's a better player, sure. But just understand, a guy making $1 million ain't no chump. So you're going to have guys in the NFL, it takes 11 guys.
It does.
It's a unique sport in that everybody is dependent on everybody. And so once you have that changes that. That's what makes NFL the most popular sport.
Outside of Jared Goff, who on the Detroit Lions roster wows you? Like where is that?
The kicker. You only have to win by one.
The kicker.
You only have to win by one.
Matt Prater.
He
was there when Matthew Stafford was, and they didn't win games.
That's right. The quarterback was the holdup in that
he's
case.
on the Cardinals now.
But you don't even have Matt Prater anymore. That is, we're gonna call you Crazy Ned for this segment.
I'm on the Detroit.
Crazy Ned is stuck with like Barry Sanders or something. I don't know.
Hey,
or Calvin
I'm gonna make a
Johnson?
pronouncement today. I'm on the Detroit Lions train this year.
We're making a bet. When is Ned coming back on this show?
We will figure this out.
Ned, I'm really excited about this. This is getting hype right now.
Oh, so the Vikings you're a Vikings fan, right?
Yeah, but that's not why I'm saying that.
Yes, it is, but that's okay.
No.
I understand.
No.
I understand that the fandom is getting to you. When those
I
Vikings
work in media. I can't be that way anymore. I almost got fired like a million times.
If the Vikings are 0-5 after the 5th week,
which we won't be,
what are you going to say then?
I'm gonna
He's gonna say it's Cherry Friday, everyone.
Cherry Friday, go Lobos.
Kirk Cousins can't figure out the COVID protocol for the next 5 weeks, and so he can't play every game.
Excuse me. Also, it's more than Kirk Cousins. It's my 5-star players. Okay, it's also Adam Thielen, Dalvin Cook, Harrison Smith. The list goes on, but no one wants to hear about the Vikings.
Well, we're talking this much about the Lions. We sure as heck can talk about
a more relevant team who actually has weapons and a defense.
We'll figure all this out.
Look at
Hit
her.
the break. Come back. Take your calls. It's the opening drive here on 95.9
I love you,
FM
Ned.
and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Calling all football players, are you looking to develop your skills this season? It's never too late or too early to put in the work. Coach Carl Barrere and the Air Barrere program at 8 Grady's Performance Center provide comprehensive position training for aspiring football players at all levels. Whether you're looking to increase your speed, gain strength, or hone your skill, we train all positions with a team of experienced coaches who know what it takes to succeed at all levels from Yaffle to college. Check us out at 8gradys.com to learn more and sign up for training today.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green and keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment. You trash it, we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
Next in line.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. DCE Systems want to help schools reopen and keep students, teachers, and staff safe. New Mexico's distributor of Novalent Shield Plus, an antimicrobial hand sanitizer that lasts 24 hours. That's right, 24 hours. 1 liter will provide approximately 2,000 individual applications. Call Louis Ruffin today at 505-507-7722 or go to DCESystemsInc.com to learn more. DCE Systems is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspet.com.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Calling all football players, are you looking to develop your skills this season? It's never too late or too early to put in the work. Coach Carl Barrere and the Air Barrere program at 8 Grady's Performance Center provide comprehensive position training for aspiring football players at all levels. Whether you're looking to increase your speed, gain strength, or hone your skill, we train all positions with a team of experienced coaches who know what it takes to succeed at all levels from Yaffle to college. Check us out at 8gradys.com to learn more and sign up for training today.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened? Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Car Crafters is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. Datacom is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. Datacom has portable AC units for rent. Applications include server rooms, retail outlets, healthcare facilities, laboratories, convenience stores and truck stops, events, concerts, and weddings. All of these units are 120-volt plug and play. Call Louis Ruffin today at 505-507-7722 or go to datacom.com to learn more.
Drive, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Micah, Josh produces for you today over on the ProView Network side, where you can watch the show worldwide on ProViewNetworks.com or
at AM 610.
The Sports Animal.
Oh.
You thought we forgot.
Now this is old.
Hey, Marie, just holding on for that fourth quarter comeback. Happy Friday, y'all.
Transfer.
She wasn't going to forget.
No.
She was just making her wait to the end, hanging on to the very last minute to make sure you knew.
I thought the Lions were way more important to talk about than the Ho.
Friday. We got
the most Lions talk you'll ever have on
by
the
the Lions and Jared Goff. And this ridiculous controversy, but it's out there, we will follow it. And we will discuss it.
I'm going to regret that, I have a feeling.
You just might. That is Ned James, our quarterback, Amory, producing JJ Buck with you here on the opening drive. Terry, you're on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. Good morning, Terry. What's up?
Good Friday, gentlemen. Sorry to break in on Detroit Lion Radio, but I want to go back. I actually have something. Timing's everything. Sometimes it's poor timing. I actually have something maybe Nate would relate to. How it is in 2004, there were 3 undefeated teams in college football, and the one team that got left out of the playoff was Auburn. That was 13-0. So back then, less than 20 years ago, the SEC took a back seat because it was USC and Oklahoma that made it in. So, now that the money's changed and everything, and obviously the next year after 2004 is Texas took down USC. So, it is good for, the SEC right now, but things will change. Saban won't coach forever. They had their down years. Probably 20 years ago, they did win in the early 90s a championship. But for everybody holding on, I still hope the Big 12 can do something in the long run. I hope Iowa State has a great year. I still wonder on the TV markets because why they wouldn't, the Big 12 wouldn't want Houston because it's the top 5 TV market. Kansas City's roughly a 30 TV market, but it is what it is from that well. Just to let people know, being an old fogey, yes, I did print out my season tickets for the Lobos. We had a group gathering, and I did make them laugh when they said that, no, rolling down your window and handing them a $5 or $10 bill to park isn't what we do today. We have to have it on an app. Things
We have an
are
app
just
for that?
difficult. You gotta have to have an app for that. And JJ, my history since Jeff blocked me on the email, which I know he didn't, but my phone still doesn't allow me to send him an email. So I'm just an old school guy. Back in the olden days, I had to get up and go. It was uphill both ways, 15 feet to change channels on the TV.
Yeah.
And back then MTV actually played videos. Martha Quinn, I had a crush on her. But you all have a great weekend. Great first week, Marie, and you guys take care, be safe, enjoy your families, and always enjoy the show. Take care.
I appreciate the phone call,
Groovy.
Terry.
Thanks, Terry.
What are they going to do when somebody comes to the gate with a flip phone and try to get into the game? I just got my dad out of a flip phone this year. So, some guys have flip phones.
Unfortunately, they're trying to phase those out. You got to get a smartphone. It's a challenge. I get it. You're doing the same thing. But your dad's all about that iPhone.
Yeah, he's all about it now. He loves that FaceTime, and he's doing everything now. Playing dominoes on there. Old people play dominoes. That's another old person thing, dominoes. Young people don't play dominoes.
Not as much.
Domino.
No.
I got my parents into Venmo, and it was the funniest thing. They don't trust it. Do you know what Venmo is, Ned?
Yes, I do.
Hell yeah.
We're just gonna quiz Ned every time a new social media thing, a new app.
That is a new thing though. Venmo is new.
Yeah. Just I got you. Just Venmo me the money.
Yes.
After the fact.
And the kids all know that. The kids at school, I get coached up by the students.
It keeps you young.
It does.
Working on campus.
Man, they say things, and I'm thinking they're speaking Mandarin Chinese. It sounds so foreign to me what they're saying that, the hip-hop, I don't even, they think hip-hop is, no one says hip-hop now. What are you talking about? I thought that was the cool, I'm thinking Sugar Hill Gang, and they're like, Sugar who? I'm thinking, 1980 or 79 or what have you.
Those are connected to the other things.
Well, there's things you gotta this is like 6 months, just go through the refresher. Like for me, it was no cap. What? Oh, no lie. Like, well, how did cap turn into lie? It's like, I don't know, but it's what the kids are saying. Like, okay.
And they say bussin' now.
Bussin'.
And
who's Lil Durk, Lil Baby, Baby, and Da Baby? You got if you can't.
Oh my God.
You can't. If you don't know the babies, you're in trouble.
Is Lil Durk?
Lil Durk was a rapper.
You should do what I do with my nephew. He's 12. My nephew Jackson. I play a song from when I was 12, and then he plays me a song, and they're very different.
I'm sure they are. I was hearing songs at that barbecue, and I'm thinking, okay.
Who's referring to the music around here?
Yeah.
Or it's depressing.
They take out the curse words, though. I like
they had edited
that's good.
versions.
Wow.
Edited versions. But the kids know the unedited version, and so you can lip read sometimes. I think that's time for me to go back in the office. That's my
See you
signal.
guys later. No, it's great. And that's what I love. about hanging out with you, Ned, is we can compare so much and share stories. It is fantastic. So thank you for coming in and hanging out this morning, Ned. Always enjoy having you in studio. A. Marie, another great day rolling along.
A weekend.
It's officially
I'm still here.
Official. The producer of the opening drive. I want to thank Stephen Lasan, Athlon Sports, for joining us this morning. Everyone at ProView. Great stuff. Busy weekend ahead. Don't forget the My 50 game of the week tonight. Rio Rancho La Cueva on My 50 TV. Also got Colin Cowherd coming up. Following Jim Rome, more sports talk, local sports talk this afternoon. Nice Soaks baseball tonight. Everybody, Meta World, peace and love. Have a great day.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened? Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Car Crafters is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. Datacom is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. Datacom has portable AC units for rent. Applications include server rooms, retail outlets, healthcare facilities, laboratories, convenience stores and truck stops, events, concerts, and weddings. All of these units are 120-volt plug and play. Call Louis Ruffin today at 505-507-7722 or go to datacom.com to learn more.
A rogue virus, no jobs, sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, Micah. Josh produces for you today over on the ProView Network side, where you can watch the show worldwide on ProViewNetworks.com or statewide at Comcast Channel 26.
Hey, welcome to the Steve Davis Show. Good morning and welcome to Sports Desk live on Comcast Channel 26.
Welcome to The Point with Nick Rich.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 10, America Talking Out.
I'm Pastor Flora Padilla of Mending Broken Hearts.
Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, Micah. Josh produces for you today over on the ProView